Welcome to the live. Hopefully, hello. Let's see. I don't think it's working again. Yeah, I don't see that moving. So I wonder. I'll wait. Oh, you can hear me? Because I'm not seeing the dots. Okay, y'all. I don't know why that does that. Like, I'm going to have to figure out before I go live why that does that, because I'm not doing anything different. Like when I get out the live and come back, I'm not doing anything different but just clicking it. So I do not know why that does that. Hey Ketzel, hey Linda, hey C Williams, how are you guys doing? Well, I know how you doing, Ketzel. You are downstairs. Yeah. Hold on, let me say something. So today I want to talk about beliefs, because right now with carbonation, it's a buzz going around that topic because of the docuseries, and I still have not watched it. I still haven't watched it, but I've really been enjoying seeing other people's commentary on it. But the thing that keeps coming up for me is beliefs. Because people ask, how does one get into a cult? How does one get into a cult? My question is, how does anyone get into anything? And it's based on their beliefs. Yeah, Linda, it is. Like, it is hard to watch the abuse again. I don't know if the docuseries is really showing that, but just when I see like old clips and stuff, I'm just like, oh, I can't even watch. I don't even want to watch this stuff. Like, it's not something that I want to revisit. And I was there, but I definitely wasn't there at the time where they was really like physically abusive. So just watching it, I'm just like, oh, like I'm not even gonna sit here and absorb this in my cranium. Yeah. So Libby said, you believe in yourself. What does that mean? What does that mean to believe in yourself? Yeah, we believe in ourselves. What's this? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. She said she believed in herself. Anybody else wants to share? What do you believe in? What do you believe in? Wild Ketzel, what do you believe in? Linda, what do you believe in? C. Williams, what do you believe in? Libby said that they believe in themselves. And I'll wait for y'all to share. Because y'all ain't going to just be sitting here listening to me talk. I mean, y'all will, but I want this to be a conversation. Because this is something that I learned in the beginning of my journey with carbonation. This is something that I noticed. I didn't really know what to do with it, but it was definitely something that I noticed. And I've never been able to not know this. Okay. I'm waiting on y'all to respond. What do you believe in? It could just be one thing. Just give me one thing that you believe in. When it comes to who you are, when it comes to your values, when it comes to how you see life, what do you believe in? You believe in your intuition, okay? While Kessel says he believes in nature, the development of self. Okay? Anybody else? We got 10 people in the room. One more person can share, what do they believe in? There's no wrong or right answer. There's no wrong or right answer. Okay? Libby said she believes in herself. Linda says her intuition. Ketzel says nature, the development of self. C. Williams says, I believe in a higher power, God. I believe that I'm a fraction of that power. I believe others and self. Okay, very good. Thank you guys for contributing. So with everything that y'all just listed, you have the potential of being manipulated and brainwashed. You want to know why? Because it is your beliefs that govern your life. It is your beliefs that governs your choices. It is your beliefs that governs your identity. And so if there is a person that is out to gain control over you, they will use your beliefs to do so. I don't believe that. So this is the thing when it comes to brainwashing. I don't blame anyone when it comes to accountability. I don't blame anyone and for them to have accountability based on what someone does to them, but I do hold people accountable to what they believe, because your belief is your own. Your belief is who you are. So if you get yourself in a situation based on what you believe, you want to hold yourself accountable to that. Not what the person did with your belief, but what you decided to believe. Because no one can make you believe anything if that belief wasn't already there. See, the reason why so many people were able to look at Nature Boy as God, because they already had a belief in God. They already had an idea of what God should be. They already were given a story about God. See, anybody that don't believe in God would never be manipulated by Nature Boy because they don't believe in God. Anybody that believes in nature and believes that we should be in nature and believe we should be in community, believes that we shouldn't be in this system, they will be manipulated by Nature Boy because the belief was already in them. It just took somebody to then amplify that belief in them. And that's the same thing with cults. Cults is just a group of people. We need to not get so tied up within that word. But cults is just a group of people coming together based on what? A belief. We all wanted to believe in something. That's how people got into that situation, on their beliefs. This is what we need to start talking about. This is what therapists and these scientists or whoever does this type of research, we need to start going deeper in individuals' belief systems, because our belief systems is what creates reality. So someone might have saw Nature Boy and like, look at this fool on the camera. Based on their beliefs, there was nothing godly about that man. But based on someone else's beliefs, there was something godly about that man based on their beliefs. That's why you can get a group of people in the same room looking at something and they all have their own interpretation based on their belief system. So I wanted to have this conversation with you because even though you may not have found yourself in a cult, but with your belief system, you are susceptible to getting manipulated. You are susceptible of getting misled by something with the media, with sales. That's why big businesses pay millions of dollars a year to understand the psychology of human beings and how they think and what they believe. And they put that in their products and in their marketing to then get you to buy it. We're being manipulated every day based on our beliefs. Every day. Now, people may not get abused by that, but I guess it's left up to the interpretation of how people choose to look at abuse. It's your beliefs. So for me, what I have done over the years, I have done an audit on my own beliefs. Like, what do I believe? Why do I believe that? Especially when it comes to God. Like, why do I believe in what I believe in when it comes to God, when it comes to a higher power, when it comes to spirituality? Where did that come from? Who influenced that? What is the root of that? I ask myself consistently, like, why do I believe what I believe when it comes to marriage, when it comes to men, when it comes to women, when it comes to food? Like, I'm constantly asking myself these questions, and I'm allowing myself to evolve, because a lot of what I believed in was based on what someone else believed in, and I felt resident to it. It didn't have anything to do with facts. It didn't have anything to do with research. Sometimes my beliefs came through my intuition or through like alignment, just a natural energetic alignment. And then later on, maybe some facts came in that be like, okay, this really wasn't a solid belief. But because I'm not, what I learned in that situation, being in the cult, what I've learned is when it comes to my beliefs, have my hand open, because then that allows me to evolve and change over time. But when you are holding on to your beliefs with a death grip, you have now made yourself vulnerable to being manipulated and controlled by what you believe in. So I live my life like this, like with my hands open. This is what I believe in right now, you know. So if anybody try to come around me with some tactics, it's not going to affect me like it used to. Okay. Oh, okay. Y'all still sharing. Libby said the thing with carbonation is that they gave their power and identified the higher self as someone outside of themselves. Yeah. 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 I never, you know what? I never even heard of higher self until he came along. See, he was fascinating to me because I didn't know a lot of things that he was talking about, but I was fascinated by it. So when it came to like higher self and he was my higher self, I didn't have a belief system on that. I didn't even have knowledge on higher self. So when he said that, I took it on. I'm like, okay, he's our higher self. But another way that I like to look at it now is that how I look at it now was that he was an example of what to do and what not to do. Because for me, he created a blueprint for me to follow and live by. And yes, that blueprint has evolved over time. I'll tell you that right now. But to me, he was just an example. That's how I look at him as a higher self, because he was able to do things that hardly anyone is able to do. And now what you see on social media is the blueprint of how people move on social media now, and not the abuse part, but just how people show up with the live streams and just how people are handling social media. They wasn't doing that back then like he was. And then also about living in the tropics and being in the tents. And a lot of what he showed, a lot of Black people, they didn't know anything about that. So when it came to him being our higher self for a lot of Black people, I was more so saying he enlightened a lot of us. And you can think of that however you want to think. For me, I don't have an attachment to higher self. Like, I don't have an attachment to any of these words. So if somebody want to call themselves my higher self, I'm like, okay, because I don't have an attachment. I don't have a belief system that that I'm holding on to where I feel triggered that someone is calling themselves a higher self. I don't have a belief system around that, so it doesn't bother me. But when you have a belief system around something that you holding on to, and then here comes someone saying something about it, you'll know that belief system, you're holding it with a grip based on how you respond to that that responds to it. So we're people that know about higher self and have an idea what higher self is for themselves, and then here he come, that's a red flag for them because they already have a belief system based on what a higher self is and what it should look like. But when you're someone that never heard of it, it's just like, oh, that's news to me. I don't know. So I think this is something that I would love for many people to really think about. Like, what do you believe in and why do you believe it? You know? Libby said y'all got bamboozled because y'all wanted community to be in nature and wanted knowledge outside of oneself. No, I don't think we got bamboozled. I definitely think that we got community. I definitely think we got nature. And I definitely think we got knowledge outside of oneself and also within self. I think we got all of that. I just think that everybody had their own belief system and idea of what that should look like. Everybody came with their own idea. And when they got there, they realized that ain't it. Like, this is not what I thought this was supposed to be, But he ain't never told us, he didn't tell us that it wasn't. We projected onto him what we thought it was going to be, right? And when we got there, it wasn't, if that makes sense. Like, we wasn't growing our own food, but there were people, planting, but we wasn't growing our own food. Like, we wasn't, what else we wasn't doing? What's some other things that we said we were doing and we wasn't? Y'all tell me, I don't really remember. But that's one of the things, we was not growing our own food at all. Lindsay said he had a charisma, was good looking, and used it to manipulate people. You know what? I don't think he intentionally did that. I don't think he intentionally used his charisma and good looks to manipulate people. I think because women and men was attracted to him, they got manipulated. You see what I'm saying? That's okay. So if y'all use my framework, if y'all try on my framework, right? All he did was get on camera and run his mouth and share his life. He never told anybody that he wanted community. When he left to go to Honduras, he was leaving on his own and he wanted 3 women with him. He was polygamous, and he had the vision of going to Honduras with his wives and living happily ever after. When he got to the airport, there were 3 men waiting for him. He never had any intention of just starting no community. Okay, he said that several times. But when the men showed up and said, "I want to go with you," he told these stories 11,000 times. When the men showed up, which was Flo and some other dude, 2 others, I wasn't around them. They were like, "We want to go with you," and so he was like, okay, the type of person he is, he just goes with the flow of shit. So he's like, all right, that's how it got started. Just like that. It got started because these men showed up wanting to go with him. And then before you know it, it became a thing to where, because he's an opportunist, he saw the opportunity in it and was like, oh, if anybody want to come along, you can come too. And then before you know it, Flo gave him $300,000, and the rest is history. You know what I'm saying? But I could be wrong. I could be wrong about the charisma and the good looks. But he just showed up on camera every day, and it was left up to the observer of what they was going to do with that. So that's how no one can manipulate you with charisma or good looks. They can't manipulate you just by them being there. But if they know once y'all made a connection and they see, then maybe they can obviously manipulate you because they know you like them. So they know what they see they can get away with. But him just on camera doing his thing, like I don't think that he was intentionally trying to gather people there and do what he was doing. Nah, mm-mm. Nah, I won't put that on him. But once you got there and once you got around him, who knows what's going to happen at that point? Everybody got their own story once you get in his face. Yeah. Ketzel said we got those things, just not in the way we had in my yeah. Miss Siobhan said, I understand the appeal of it all. I'm a Black girl from the South, so I understand the need for connect without doors and being free. I think he just lost his mind and fell off the path. Yeah, I think that too, but I also think that the type of person he was before the cult, it amplified when he was there. I think before the cult, like he abused his women. Like we know that with Maisha. Before the cult, he had a lot of fear and control issues before the cult. Like so the cult didn't make him be this when he was already that. Like he was already dealing with those issues. Like a lot of us, we all have our own issues, but he was already a control freak and manipulator and was beating women before that. And before a lot of us came there, we knew that. That's the thing. We knew that he beat women. We saw the pictures. Like we knew all this, but it didn't matter. We still got there anyways. We still wanted to come there anyways. So, and that's what I'm saying, because what we believe in, we put on our rose colored glasses because we believed our beliefs led us there. It didn't matter what the facts was. It didn't matter what people were exposing. We still decided to get there because of what we believed it was. See, when you can start looking at life that way, you have power. You have power because it's my beliefs that even gives you power. Your power, your beliefs can give power and take power away based on what you believe. Okay. And when you hear the ex-members talk, you literally hear them say what they believed it was. I was what sparked this me wanting to go live is because I saw somebody do a video on TikTok, like it's starting to spread. The story is starting to spread. And I saw one of the ex-members, she was talking, and everything that she was saying that was coming out of her mouth was based on what she believed it was. And even when she went the first time and left and came back, she came back knowing what it was, but her belief still allowed her to come back to it because what she believed. And there was something that she said that she knew that he wasn't God. She knew that he abused women, but it didn't matter because she wanted to be there because of her belief that this is it. And then also the person she was in a relationship was there. So she stayed because of a man. Even though she knew this wasn't right, she stayed because her man was there. Okay? So and this conversation is not to diminish anyone's story. There, but what it is okay, that happened to you and you got through it. But now, are you ready to integrate that situation in your life so it won't happen again in a different form? Okay? If you're ready to do that, come talk to me. But if you're still in the space of, I was manipulated, that was wrong, I'm a victim. Okay, be there. Go be there. Some people need to live there. Some people need to stay there. That's the process. That's the process of the circle of healing. Sometimes you need to sit in your victimhood. Sometimes you need to sit there and be mad and feel however which way you want to feel. Do that. But now, if you're ready to grow and to make sure that don't happen to you again, now are you ready to hold yourself accountable? Because that's what growth is. It's just it's holding yourself accountable to the choice that you made. But sometimes in healing, the process is blaming someone else for that choice. You know, the anger, the hurt, the disappointment. Sometimes sometimes that process requires that. And let me tell y'all something. I definitely had those moments where I was pissed. I definitely had those moments where I was disappointed. I was sad that I hated him. I definitely had those moments. I gave myself that. Now I didn't put it on camera and do all of that, but I had those moments for myself because those were that hurt was for me. That hurt was for me to process. That hurt was not for me to bring it to the world. That's how I handled it. And I also went to therapy and had people coaches. I processed it in my way. And not putting it out into the world. But then this is how I like to talk about it is I want to be that voice in this situation of accountability of, yeah, that happened and you can still move forward in your power and looking at that situation as one of your vehicles of healing and growth and, in aligning you to your purpose. I want to be that voice in this situation. And not everybody is going to align to that. But that's the part I want to play. It's like, well, no matter what you get yourself in, if you still alive, you still living. Okay. If you still alive, you still living. Okay. Everything is for your best good. That's the archetype that I want to play in this story. No matter what you got yourself in, if you still alive, you still living. Somebody make that a t-shirt. Okay, so. Oh, Kessel says living off solar energy. Miss Siobhan said it's a shame if done right, the movement couldn't have been good. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Libby said several church preachers operate on charisma, good looks, and having you. Who you telling, Libby? It's happening every day. In the name of Jesus. Happening every day. Well, Kessel said, I think charisma and good looks is a two-way street. People also allow certain things to fly when they really have a desire to be with someone they find attractive and charismatic. That they find attractive and charismatic. Yeah, yeah. And I've definitely been in relationships in the past where because of their attractiveness that I put up with stuff. Or because they knew how I cared about them, they took advantage of that. I definitely been in situations like that. Miss Siobhan said, true, the mental instability was very clear. This conversation also brings up the connection between Black people and religious psychosis. Okay, I am so happy everyone in this room is understanding what I'm saying. I love what you guys are adding onto this conversation, because I'm always hesitant about talking about this, but I'm like, no, I'm going to talk about it in a way that I want to, and I'm going to talk about it on my page, and whoever is in alignment with it will come. And I know anybody that's not, they're going to come over here and call me names or whatever. I'm okay with that because this is a very deep topic. This is a dangerous topic. And I understand that because of people's belief systems, that they're going to respond to you based on that. And based on most of y'all in here that's speaking to me, y'all are people of intelligence. Yeah, y'all can name a thing, be like, yeah, that wasn't okay. But you can also go beyond the surface of that And that's amazing. I love that I connect with people like that, because that's how I see life. It's just like, yeah, that sucks, but let's go deeper. Let's go deeper into the human experience, you know? And there is a comment. Oh, I wish I had some water because I am sweating. Hold on, y'all. I gotta put the air conditioner. I'm sweating. Ooh, y'all, it is hot in Mexico. Okay. Yes, so let's get into this religious psychosis. I would love for you to expound on that, Libby, about Black folks and the religious psychosis. Okay. So this is a comment that somebody sent me, and it really inspired me to like really give a response to it. Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you, sweetie. Because I'm like over here burning up. I had the fan on, but then the more I'm talking, the more I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm hot. Yeah. You can be in the live if you want to, Ketzel. Y'all, Ketzel, he really wants to talk about this situation. Whew. Okay, y'all. Oh, I'm hot. Gotta get that air condition pumping. Okay. So this is the comment that somebody has sent me. They said, I think most are looking to see how to prevent our children from becoming a person that worships a false God. Remember that, y'all, false God, while destroying their life at the same time. Okay. Let me ask y'all a question. How do you know someone's a false God? How does one know that someone's a false God? Answer the question. See, ever since I done ayahuasca in December, and I think in January, and it wasn't ayahuasca, it was Bufo. Since I did Bufo and then ayahuasca, it has really opened my mind to the ideal of God and how this belief system has controlled my life, and how it's still controlling my life. But now I'm more aware of like, but is it controlling my life in a good way? Is this belief in God, is it helping me or is it hindering me? You know, that's just the questions. That's just the questions that I've been waking up to, you know. But yes, how does one know somebody is a false God? Does anybody have, and there's no wrong answer. I'm just asking you guys this because these are the conversations I have with myself. So I'm bringing it to y'all. Cheryl said, oh, yeah, I know. Like me and Kessel both were, and let me tell you something, me and Kessel, we be talking. And Kessel has his own perspective too. At any moment, if he wants to come in here and share, he can do that. And I think y'all enjoy me and Kessel talking. Okay. So Libby says, I'm really glad that y'all made it out. I had 2 family members join cults and one didn't make it out as they were with Jim Jones. Oh, wow. Interesting. See, I always heard of Jim Jones, but I never knew of anybody that was, I don't know you, but I never knew of anyone that had a link to Jim Jones. Yeah. So that is interesting. Very interesting. So I guess we'll see how, because Zen is downstairs, so we'll see. Yeah, that is so interesting, Libby. And thank you for being a part of this conversation and having the ability to be objective about this conversation, even though you experience, that you still are able to have a objective perspective about it, in that, you know what I'm saying? So I just love the people that's in this room today. Okay, so Sherry, you called up on, you summoned Ketzel. Let me see. He's very articulate, and I enjoy hearing from him. If he wants to, I'm here for it. I believe in a higher power, but I don't subscribe to a person here being that higher power. Okay, so my question is, is
that thing on?
it's on, but I don't know if it's doing anything. So
No, that sounds like low mode or something.
low mode. Okay, so that's my question. Like, how does one know who is a false god? Now, I'm not saying that Nature Boy is God or a god, but how do we get to determine who a god is? Obviously, if anybody's in a physical form, they're not the creator. They're the creation. But there, in other religions, in other sects of the world, they do honor people as many gods and gurus and stuff. And there's many gods. There's God. The planets are considered gods. You have what's the like the Estar, and the what's them gods called? What's that? It starts with an M. You have all different types of gods. Then you have religious gods. So who gets to decide who is a false god and who is a real god? Who gets to decide that? Where did you learn about God? Libby said, well, I think you first have to define God and acknowledge anything with a God label was created by man. Woo! Idols. Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you have an answer to that?
Well, I mean, I was just thinking of different groups of people and what they label God. I mean, if you look at some of indigenous cultures, some of even they will say like that term God, a lot of it is borrowed from Christianity and the concept of it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas they might have acknowledged different forces as being like more supernatural, but things get lost in language. So then Europeans come and it's like, oh, that's your God. You were making the sun your God. And they're like, well, not exactly how you guys interpret it. So it's just like, yeah, I think that's a good question. Like first you have to outline what do you mean by God, you know? And then, you know, go from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, is that the initiation of someone being a god, someone had to call them God and acknowledge that they're God. So maybe in real time, when we were watching Nature Boy and the rest of these fools on camera calling themselves God, what if that's how all these other gods that now we worship, what if that's how they got started? We don't know. It wasn't there. So
I think it's just like you said, like it's a belief.
It's a belief.
I think the power behind the concept of God lies behind the belief. And so I think like when Nature Boy says he's God, I think the power behind that lies in his insistence on it.
Yeah.
Like he's willing to die, go to jail for life. He's going to keep insisting that this is reality.
Mm-hmm.
And so it almost becomes at some point indistinguishable from reality, because reality is that which persists. And if something persists long enough, then we will believe it. And that's why religion is so powerful the longer it goes, because it keeps persisting. So it feels like it's truth. It feels like it's real because enough people believe in it, enough people practice it. There's enough of a lineage that it must be real, right? Because then what is reality? Reality is just that which persists. So I think that's kind of like the line of thinking. And so when it becomes with these people is whether you choose to believe it or not. So it's like when Nature Boy sat me down and was like, bro, can't you see? Like, I'm Jesus. Like, and I'm just looking at him like, I don't believe it, you know. But somebody else might have looked at him and been like, oh my God, I see it. I see it.
Just say I did that. No, you know what I said? Yeah, you are Jesus. Because I looked at him as a messenger, and Jesus was a messenger.
Well,
and at that time, he wasn't saying he was our God.
But that's a perfect example, because then we would have to define, what does Jesus mean to you?
Well, I don't. Right? Yeah.
So for me, in my mind, what Jesus meant didn't look like what he was being, or how he was being. But maybe in somebody else's mind, what Jesus meant to them did interpret, oh, he's just a messenger. He came to bring enlightenment. And so from their perspective, or from their definition, he fit those qualifications. So they're like, okay, I can see that, you're Jesus. Yeah. So then that's the same thing with God, right? Whatever your idea of God is, somebody may or may not be able to fit it, depending on your definition. So if somebody's definition is like, the only way I can believe you're God is if you can make something appear right here. Obviously, nobody's done that yet for us to be like, oh, they must be God, because that fits that definition. So that's why a lot of people will be like, that's stupid, that's dumb, like how could he be God? He didn't create this reality. But then if you redefine the word God to, I don't have to create it, like this is just what we're experiencing, like this is all in your mind, there's nothing I don't need to prove anything, like this is proof, our existence, reality is proof, consciousness is proof. Then you can go down a different definition that you could start to believe, like, oh, this person might be saying something that's true.
But the thing is that what's puzzling about it is, despite the type of man he was, despite his past and what he was able to manifest, despite who he was, that's the phenomenon about it. Like, he came from the gutter and he was able to harness fame, women, money. Now his name is going to live on, regardless of what anybody thinks. You see what I'm saying? Is it immortal? Now, now he is literally going to be immortalized, because it's stamped now. And so once he died, his name is going to get amplified even more. You can't hurt this dude, because why? Because he's already accepted that he's God.
Well, I think the things that you mentioned came from hurt. Like, you can't hurt him, because he became who he was through hurt. So I was thinking about how do most people that become great, they have lineages of experiences that are very, usually what we would say, bad, right? They grew up in terrible environments, they had very bad experiences, lots of trauma. And so a lot of times the things that we seek out to be and become are based on those early experiences that we had. So you want to achieve greatness so that you can destroy the trauma or the pain or hurt that you felt. So that is like the greatest motivator for a lot of us, right? So that's why a lot of people who reach great status, like, they have beginnings that were very bad a lot of times, and then they rise from them, not because, people think like, the space matters, right? So like, the worse somebody had it and the greater they become, the greater they are, because what they had to overcome. But a lot of times it's just the fact that the things that they experience are actually the fuel that allowed them to even get there. A lot of times we don't do nothing with our life because it's too comfortable. You know what I mean? Like, people don't become great because their life is kind of good, So it's like, unless they feel the pain of a partner leaving, a family member dying, their parents leaving them, that's what gets people to like, I'm gonna fucking change the world. Like, I'm gonna make you feel my pain, And I think that's why he had that beginning, and that's why I think a lot of people and a lot of stories that we create around these characters have those beginnings. Even Jesus, right? Like, was born of a virgin. Like, it's got to be like some, supernatural beginning to it. To their story.
And you know how I got attracted to melanation, carbonation, was the Black woman is God. I didn't come into that because of community and all that other stuff. It attracted me because he was preaching the Black woman was God, and also they were in nature. And then he was talking about diseases, and he was talking against Dr. Sebi. That's what attracted me. I didn't care about no community. Like, I wasn't on that. Right. But I just knew that when he said that, that's what activated me and a whole bunch of women, was that he was preaching the Black woman was God, and we ain't never heard that before.
How did that feel? How did that feel? Was like that empowering? Did
Yeah,
you feel like
it was empowering, and it was just like I said, it was an activator. Like, oh my God, because I was already teetering with the idea that I am God, but I was still like in the religion world. But it was starting to come to me that what if everything is God? What if it's out? What if everything is God? And what if, and then somebody told me you're God, and I was like, what is you talking about? So and then when I found him and Yaya, and then they started talking about it, I was like, oh, this might be a thing. Let me keep watching. Then I saw them in nature, and yeah, it was just that's what attracted me to it, that got my attention.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I got there and realized it did not feel, this don't feel like these people are welcoming. Like, he was cool, but everybody else around him was not. But I was just like, oh shoot, what did I do? Like, what did I do? Because this is like, I went too far. Like, that's how. But it was like, well, I'm already here, so let me see
how this goes.
Let me see how this goes and stuff. So okay, so because I still want to talk about the God thing. So let me see. Wow, great point. They said they're glad that you're here. Sherry said, my parents allowed me to think freely about the creator, so I don't have an actual picture of it. I just believe there is a creator. My view is more spiritual. Yeah, that's how I feel. Like, I'm not teaching Zen our beliefs, like my beliefs anyways. Like, we want to instill our values to Zen, but as far as like what we believe in, like, no, I'm not. He asked me about God, and I'll be like, what you think? You more close to God than I am. Like, what does that mean to you? And so I'm definitely not indoctrinating Zen or God, spirituality, religion. I'm going, because my child coming here already knowing who he is. So I'm just going to allow him to like experience it on his own, if that's going to be a part of his journey, is understanding God. Real Kitchen said, God chooses herself or himself. See, they said, this person said God chooses himself. Well, he chose himself to be God, didn't he? Mm-hmm. And Sherry said, wow, that's a great point. I'm so happy he joined us. Okay. So Libby said, now also consider this: a God needs belief in order to exist. Mm-hmm. Facts don't need belief. Facts exist whether you believe or not. For example, the sun. See, I said that in my last video. Like, there's a difference between facts and beliefs and truth. I think truth and beliefs are in the same bucket. I think truths and beliefs are in the same bucket, personally. So when people be like, there's only one truth, I don't believe that. There's many truths. Just like there's many beliefs. There's many truths,
But I also think facts can change.
You think so?
Like, okay, for instance, like you might say, oh yeah, we have a sun now. Like, but in the context of existence, in 10 billion years, the sun goes out. That's not a fact anymore.
Well, when we get there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not a static thing.
Okay, so you're saying nothing is static?
Yeah, nothing is static, and I mean, I feel like that's a principle of universal law. Like, not even atoms are static. There's nothing static. We're going in and out of realities. Okay. Every decision that we make is changing and altering timelines. So I just think that I get it. I get that we want to feel like there's concreteness to existence, but I also think that there's like an additional layer that makes us uncomfortable with the fact that it's impermanent and that it's going to change at some point. And so we want to build these beliefs because we want to hold on to something that feels solid, that feels safe, familiar, and concrete, because we want to avoid the alternative that at any moment it could change, right?
And humans do not like change.
Or new information could be introduced.
Yeah, that's the one thing as humans we have in common, is that we don't like change. Most humans do not like change. So just like what you said, we look for things that are concrete and that are solid. because for whatever reason we like consistency, and we don't want change because it creates fear, it creates doubt. And I think that's a conversation to have. Like, why is it that we can't embrace change? Because since we've been born, change has always showed up.
Mhm.
Who you are now, you wasn't there that 10 years ago. Like, you are constantly changing. So for whatever reason, as humans, we don't like that. We just don't like what we are.
Well, I think we get attached to the
Yeah.
moment. We get attached to a moment in time,
Yeah.
and then we're like, things are moving along, and we're like, no, I still want to stay here. You know, I don't want things to move forward from this experience that I'm having.
Yeah. And somebody had told me, think of it as you're eating an ice cream cone. At some point, like, you're enjoying the ice cream cone, but at some point you have to eat it or it's going to melt and it's going to be a big mess. But then after you eat it, you're not like, oh, no more ice cream cone. You're like, okay, that was good. I'll get another ice cream cone at another time. But we don't tend to look at life like that. We want to hold on to the relationships. We want to hold on to the moment. And if it changes, it's like, it's the uncertainty of it all. Like, we don't embrace the uncertainty of life.
Yeah, that's like when being comes into play instead of like just experiencing, instead of trying to make sense or rationalize or whatever.
Somebody said now he harnesses prison walls and prison food. He can't remove himself from prison. Yeah. But immortalized how? The reason why I say immortalized is that he's going to always be remembered. Now that
but even what people are doing here, like, and I get it, like, people want to control. They want him to feel. They want to feel like that they can do something about him, and that's what this has all been about, right? Like, they wanted to put him in jail because they want to feel like they can control him, because his influence, even when it was restricted, was still having an impact. So I think people just want to feel like, well, he can't get out of jail now, right? Like, well, he's stuck there. Like, he's not all powerful. But for me, it's like, I get that, but it also is telling that people do feel, in a way, it kind of reveals his power. You know what I mean? That people want to be able to say, like, well, like, say if he dies, like, well, he's dead now. Like, where is he now, right? But you're only saying that because they did pose and possess some sort of power. See, regardless of what we experience with Carbonation and Nature Boy and all those, we can still acknowledge that there was something unique there. Like, obviously, right? Like, people made a documentary. We're here talking about it. Something unique happened. This wasn't a being that is compared to everyday people. Like, we could leave it at that. You could interpret further from that. But I think that he challenged how comfortable people were with assigning someone power, because even within prison, he was able to have influence. Even right now, he's having influence. He's in prison, locked up. There's a documentary that I guarantee you a subset of the people who watch that documentary will go and investigate and so resonate with what he's talking about. It might not be everybody. I'm sure plenty of people are going to be like, oh, good job, he's a monster, he need to go to jail. Cool, fair enough. But there's going to be some people who are going to go deeper and then resonate and fall into the frequency or align with the frequency of what Nature Boy represents. So even in his incarceration, he's having an impact, And so I don't think that to acknowledge that doesn't mean that you support him, like, to acknowledge that, like, that's the thing I think that we get flack for, that we acknowledge things that people make mean that we support him or that we're trying to advocate for all his behavior. It's like, no, we're just trying to be fair and even-handed with our judgment. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people struggle with that because they wanted to, like, be black and white, right? Like, this was wrong. He was clearly a monster, psychopath. And, and then these people were completely innocent and, they had no idea what was happening. And I just, it's not that black and white for us. And so we just want to come on here and share that perspective, I think.
Yeah. And one thing you can do to a God to hurt them and to destroy them is don't believe in him. Don't believe in God.
Ignore
Don't acknowledge, don't believe. So that's what I'm saying, that people are immortalizing him. These documentaries, docuseries, they are immortalizing him. Like, if they just never talked about this man ever again, he will no longer exist. But because they keep bringing up this story, they're going to keep talking about this story. Years from now, he's always going to be a thing, and that's how you immortalize. Like look at the documentaries that, like, Father Yod, Osho. Like, even now, like, I'm watching videos about Osho. He was, I don't think he was a guru, but all of these gurus and these cult leaders, they're being immortalized because now their story and their teachings can be told over and over again. Like, how long has Osho been dead? But we know about Osho, like, and we know about Jesus. Okay, we know about that. Like, we know about all of these so-called gods and gurus. We still talking about them to this day. But if you don't want to give them power, don't give them light. Don't give them conversation. Don't give them energy. So that's what, when I see what they're doing, I'm like, okay, they about to start it back up. Like, he is happy. He is excited that they are doing this, talking about him. It's keeping him relevant. That's his lifeline, to stay relevant. That's why even in jail, he trying to go live and talk, and he just need to get online. He just need to get the attention. And he's hungry for the attention, and that's what they're giving him. And I'm just
I think people even hating him feels him.
Yeah, he loves it.
Yeah, it's like but most times people who hold that hate don't interpret it that way. They feel like that's the right emotion to hold towards this person. But at the end of the day, like, it doesn't really matter. It's like a black hole. It's just going to suck up any light, darkness. It's indiscriminate, and it's just going to consume whatever looks its way, whatever even acknowledges it. I don't think people really understand how that works, because if you want to get attention, just do negative stuff.
Yep.
But then that attention that you give is fueling the thing that you don't want. So how do you escape it?
Yeah. Somebody said he is in prison because he broke the law, and someone reported him. Yeah, I mean, they've been trying to get him in jail since melanation. They've been trying to get him in jail since Costa Rica, and he ended up making himself available to that, and they got him. They got him. You're right. He broke the law. So yeah. Somebody said no one would care if he was a good person. Exactly. If he was a good person, and it was like, they wouldn't. Nobody would care. Like, no, I don't be listening to nobody, and they want to talk about how, hey, this monsters. These people are getting off on this docuseries. These people are getting off on the story. I'm telling you, I'm just sitting back watching, and I'm looking at these women. I was like, I just watch the second documentary. I got to take a break. But once I take a break, I'm going back in. I'm just like, okay, girl. Curiosity killed the cat. So that's what I'm saying. As humans, we like to look at the car wreck. We like to drive by and look and see if there's a dead body, to see who got hurt. People like that. People love it. People
and that's
love
why we
that
got
stuff.
traffic, right?
And that's why we be having traffic, because people just can't just keep driving. You gotta stop and look and see there was blood, see anybody dead. Like, people
That's a good analogy. Like, we hate
it.
traffic, but we still gotta look every time.
We still gotta look. We still gotta look. Mm-hmm. 2 people died under his leadership. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes the story even more compelling. That somebody died. Well, 2 people. Well, I don't know what Loyal was doing when he got, it happened to him, but I don't think he was in the group technically. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Thank you, Monique. I love you. I love you too so much. Always was amongst the most intellectuals of the group. Y'all were the definition of leave, learn, learn a lesson and grow. Like we were very fortunate that we left in the time that we did. Like we won't ever know. We won't ever know if we would have stayed, would the outcome still became what it became. Like we would like to
Let's just
think
speculate.
we would like to think because we left, that's why it turned completely left. Like where they were just violent to each other. We would like to think, I would like to think that it happened because I left. But because the women didn't have a safe space to go to. I was the women's safe space to go to when they needed a woman to talk to. And they didn't have that because these women were, they had a lot going. These young women, I should say, had a lot going on. And I was the oldest, so I should have been the wisdom. I was the same age as him. I should not be on the same level as these young girls. So they had me for the reason, like for the reason and the logic, and I always knew how to talk to Velvet. I always knew how to calm her down, like chill, like stop, like I always knew how to come, like talk to her, even if she didn't listen. And the women could speak, had that. But once I left, I just think they just got really competitive, and plus his ways of separating people with manipulation, especially the women, like they didn't have that. Like they didn't have that. And I know with Ketzel, he also didn't let Nature Boy play him like that. Like, and there have been times where he tried and Ketzel spoke up and stuff. But once we left, I don't know who took the place of that. I can't imagine anybody doing that, based on what we saw, like later on. But
Yeah, 'cause
you
we
just
wouldn't
but
have
we
been-
don't never know if that would have happened if we were there.
I mean, I don't know if we would have been able to coexist in that environment, because either we would have spoke up or we would have left.
Yeah, because
Like,
I
if
had never
like-
gotten no fight.
Like if
with
they're like, you
nobody.
guys have to put hands on each other, like that's what we're doing now. Like we would have been like, all right, well y'all do that. We're leaving. We don't
Yeah.
agree to that shit.
Hell no, I've never gotten a physical fight ever in my life. So yeah, that's just not something that I'm willing to do, is hit someone because I'm mad. Like, like my mind don't go there. It's like I know how to articulate my emotions, like but some people don't know how to do that, so they gotta do all of that. But like I said, I would like to think if we were there, that wouldn't have happened. But you just never know. I just know that type of stuff wouldn't happen when we were there. I know that, like that type of stuff, like with the group. No, that's not true, because you remember, was it Solar? Who was it? Solar?
Musa?
Was it Solar Musa?
Yeah, but they wrestled. Like
They was wrestling.
It was like a wrestling match.
And men do that. I expect men to do stuff like
and
that.
It was like,
but not women.
And it was like a handshake after. It wasn't like just, this. It was like basically like, all right, let's let this energy out, and then like we're gonna shake hands.
Yeah, because they were like jealous. Like I remember when Solar and Mente and True and Natural came, and they were just they just had a new energy. They were intellectual, intelligent. They were confident, and like the men that were there, they were jealous, like kind of envious a little bit. Like, how they gonna come up here and act like they just going to get on here and camera and just speak the message? So there was a little envy between the men, and I think Musa and Solar. I think was it Solar?
Yeah.
Okay, they decided to wrestle, and after that, everybody was cool. But as far as women, I'm like, yeah, as women fighting like that, like dogs, I'm like, ooh, goodness. Let me see. Mentally, I lay so much. I'm deep, Nick. Oh, okay. What you think about this, Kessel? Libby said the movement was indeed. Crap. Hold on. The movement was indeed unique. However, I believe he was a part of a psyop, because who else can operate so sloppy online with limited police interference? What do you think about that? That's something we heard all the time.
Yeah,
like he was working with the DEA or FBI, CIA.
Yeah, I mean, There is a lot of interesting, I guess, just coincidences, or like even the fact that he was getting funded by Mike and all that information. Like, it was a pretty rare circumstance, like, where's that money coming from? But yeah, I mean, that's a really interesting, like, idea. I don't know. I just think, I don't think he was really doing anything illegal.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The reason he got caught up is because he started doing shit that was illegal. Like, in the early days, we were very aware and conscious. We didn't smoke weed because we didn't want to get caught.
We didn't drink liquor.
We didn't drink liquor. We drank wine, and that was it. And if we had smoked weed in those early days, we would have got caught up for sure, because we routinely got stopped by border crossings, by police. They were always curious about what we were doing, because it was, a very obvious difference situation happening. But I don't think he was ever doing anything like truly illegal up until the later days. Like, we were pretty mindful of a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like, I think he was already in the States, but
like, he was saying controversial shit. But I mean, you got freedom of speech. You can say pretty much, even when he got like questioned for the whole mentioning, touching.
Oh, his son.
His son touching his penis or whatever. Like, that got investigated.
It came to the house.
The investigator came to the house. They
in
had
Texas.
A full-on blown conversation.
Yep.
And they sat down, had an interview and all that. And then he decided, he was like, I got what you were saying, bro. I understood. I watched the whole video. It was a full-on.
He said this man shows no sign of molesting children. And the man wrote a report about it. So it's just interesting that it doesn't matter. People still want to say that he molests children, but that's what happened. That's what we saw when the man came. Like, they okay, so good.
That's even why he didn't want to have people that were underage come, because he didn't want that to be.
He did not want children there, because he knew that made him vulnerable to pedophilia. Because if there's no children there, then he can't be associated with that. But if they're there, people can make up the story, that he did that. But I will say, okay, so you're talking about what limited police interference. Okay, so Costa Rica, he got kicked out of Costa Rica. The group, because I was still legal, me and Kessel was legal, but the group got kicked out and deported back to the States because all of their paperwork was expired, at least 9 months. And then Belize, we got kicked out of Belize because people were pooping on the streets. Like, instead of pooping in the bushes like what we were supposed to do, people were pooping on like the paths, and people were seeing it. And then the women, we were like naked, and so they ended up kicking us out of Belize for that. And then Mexico, I think police did come. Police did come to the Palenque house at least once. While we were there. Then once we left, I don't remember what happened after we left, but there were police interference everywhere that they lived. And then when we was in Texas, again, Child Protective Services came, and then also one of his wives, Sonny, she called the police, and the police came there. And I don't even remember why the police came to.
No, I think it was her man, right? Like her
man. Her man called the police and came to the house. So police was there in Texas. And then and then I think like the last thing I remember was Atlanta, and the police kept being called over there. Like what I did see, like the police. So the police
it was continuous.
It was continuous. The police. And Nicaragua. He got arrested there. In Hawaii, they got arrested and got put in jail there. So so that's why I'm like, I don't know about Psyop, because the police was very relevant in that story, and he kept getting arrested and kept getting kicked out of these countries.
So I would say this, like, he was very mindful about not breaking the law on certain things. In the places where he did break the law, he definitely paid for it. Like, so it was never like he got away with anything really.
Mother Essence said He still has an online platform that's active. If you know, you know. He's always going to be who he is. However, that scene is based on perception. Yeah.
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 I'm sure he's probably live right now.
Oh, crap.
He's probably live right now.
I know he's probably live right now, y'all. No, Real Kitchen said he vetted his members very carefully. He would not have chosen another man similar to himself. He only chooses those he's coming out. No, y'all. I know y'all would like to think that he didn't vet his members. We was trying to come up with systems while we were there to vet the people that came. But the way he moves on inspiration. He moves on how he feels. He moves. That day, if he's happy, he gonna let you come. That day he's pissed, he ain't gonna let nobody come. He gonna kick somebody out. There was no like tactic with him. It just depends on and then there'll be moments where we be like, no, we don't think this person should come. They not in tune. He'll let them come.
Next thing you know, you gotta go pick him up at the airport. But to be real, like okay. I just don't think that men like him would join himself.
Men like that would never.
I think that's probably more of why people like that didn't pop up. But yeah, he was not very mindful. Like he just said yes to pretty much everybody. Now I will say there was that one dude. Remember, like he got into it with him.
Yeah, that like, one dude from New York. Yeah. Oh my god.
They had like very similar energy, as they were both loud and they were like talking like that New York and like like, he was just going off and he was just like.
Yeah, that one.
They got into it. Yeah. They got immediately, into it. Pretty
immediately.
Much. So even when that did happen, like it wasn't a fit. But
yeah, like anybody that had that strong mind, that came there, they didn't last very long because they were just like, no, this ain't it, and I don't fit. And people, y'all be amazed how many people have come and gone that y'all ain't never heard about, because a lot of people came there and immediately knew this was not it, this is not okay, and they left or they get kicked out. Like, and the people that stayed, I just say it says everything about us, the ones that stayed. Like but the ones that might have been like, oh, this is cute, and when they get there, they be like, oh, absolutely not. They left immediately. They was like, this ain't it.
And also, like, he addressed things if he did feel like that. Like even with me, like he thought that there was, like, I was trying to like show dominance, or which I never like had like that intention. I was pretty oblivious, especially back then.
I'm surprised you lasted as long as you did. Like, I'm surprised you did, because you just was, I'm surprised. Like,
so he would always check for that. Like, he was paranoid about like this idea that another man would come in and like try to like step to him. But so he imagined it even when it wasn't there.
Yep, shout out to everyone that got away. But at some point people were still there and it just ended, Then eventually that was it. There was nothing. I mean, even though his wives are still together, but Mama Dia and the baby I forgot about the baby because I wasn't there. Okay. Child, the Real Talk Kitchen, let me tell you something. He made 2 of his queens fight. Girl, I saw that last night. I saw a clip of that. And then they didn't even show like all of it. I remember when that happened. I wasn't there. I was watching just like y'all. But I remember when that happened. I saw some of it last night. I'm like, this is disgusting. This is disgusting.
Was that on the beach?
Yes, with all of it. Him and those women. Okay, I'm just like, I just can't. That was horrible. That's why I be like, I can see why people act the way they act about that whole situation, because that's the type of stuff that was happening. Stuff was not happening when I was there. Like, but I'm not surprised that it didn't get to that point. Like especially with Velvet, like that girl, it didn't matter. It didn't matter if he was beating her. She still was going to fight him. She still was going to challenge him. She still was going to fight for her. It didn't matter. Like, she did not have no fear in her whatsoever. Like, and when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, it was disgusting.
That makes
Oh,
sense
sorry,
because when you were there, it's
disgusting.
like you were directing the women, and so when she became like directing the one who was directing the women, like she obviously did it. in
Yeah,
her
she
way.
was. She just wanted him to be monogamous, and she just didn't want him messing with other women, and then plus women was coming there challenging her. Women would literally come to her and be like, "I can be queen better than you." So I think that Velvet felt really insecure and disrespected by a lot of women. That was just like, "Girl, you ain't doing queen right. Let me be queen." Like, they did. Like, yeah. So she had a position, but she really literally had to fight for it, I guess. Like she had to fight for that, like, and still ended up not being queen of the dodos. See, I can laugh about it now because this is like the things that I got myself into in the name of truth. Like I'm at the place where I can laugh at it, like, because this is like, Lord have mercy, the things that I do. Libby said, "I'm glad Ketzel had the wisdom and forced her to get out of there because I questioned if you really wanted to leave." No, I didn't want to leave. No, no. If y'all ask me, I will always tell y'all the truth. No, I did not want to leave. I did not. And if y'all hear a lot of people's original stories, no one really talked about them not like believing in the message and believing in certain things. It really came down to our own personal desire, and then when we wasn't getting that met, we left, like, or we got kicked out. You know why I left, y'all? I left because the day that Ketzel, and I said this, but maybe there's some people in here that didn't hear. The reason why I left the second time was because that day, and I had had the baby that day. Ketzel, Rambo, Key, and Jazz decided they were leaving. That was the day we leaving. Well, I'm with Ketzel, and we have a baby.
It wasn't that. It was like a week-long process.
Yeah, it was a week. Okay, well, I'm gonna give my version, and you give your version. Okay. So, they were already planning on leaving, but I was checked out because I just had the baby, and I was just so tired and so hungry and just over it. And I just remember that day I was laying on the floor because he had us sleeping in the house because he was scared of something. And I remember he was watching something. He was had us watching something. It was some videos of him or young Pharaoh or something. And I just remember him noticing Ketzel's energy. He was like, "Y'all's energy is off. It's just something off." And so he called in everybody, and everybody lined up. And then that's when Flo and Ketzel was like, "Yeah, we don't want to be here no more." And so then he was like, "All right, y'all gotta leave." And so Nature Boy came to me. He said, "So what are you going to do?" And I told him, I was like, "I don't know." And when I said that, he went off. He was like, "You know what? If you don't know, you don't need to be here either." And so because I did not have the energy to give to this man, I just got up, me and the baby, and I just went into the bedroom because I was just so mentally out of it. Anybody that had a baby, you know what I'm saying. And plus being in that environment, I just didn't give a fuck. I was just like, and so then people were coming to me like Velvet, and the women was like, "What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?" And I was like, "I really don't know." But I was getting me and the baby stuff together. And so I remember going into the laundry room because I really didn't know. Because at the time, me and Kel's relationship was not it. And I didn't know him outside the cult. But then, then there's the cult. So then I went into the laundry room because I had some clothes of the babies. When I was in the laundry room, if y'all remember the house in Mexico, you had the pantry and then the kitchen. While I was in the pantry, they were Nature Boy and Velvet and Kendra was in the kitchen. And I heard them say, "Yeah, I don't want her here anyways. You look at her and the baby stink and she needs to go. Like, I don't even want her here. She ain't no good mother." They was just saying all kind of stuff about me. And so then when I heard that, I was like, I have to go. I said, if I stay here hearing that, I was like, whatever happens to me and this baby is my fault. You understand? And so that's why I left, because I feel like that was the universe being like, girl, it's time to move on. You and this baby got to go. And so that's what made me leave, was that I heard them say that. And so then when we were outside in the front, then he was still talking whatever he was talking. And then he was like, "Are you sure you want to go?" Like, he was like, "You sure you want to leave?" And I didn't even want to look at him. I have a video on my Instagram page where you can see that clip. And I just had my head down and I was just like, yeah, I couldn't even look at him. And then that's why I left. Did you have anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, like we all left for our own selfish reasons. When we weren't getting what we wanted, right? So in that moment, what was it that you weren't getting that which you wanted?
I wanted sleep and I wanted food. I just wanted to lay down. I just wanted to go into a tent and not be bothered. I just needed to sleep because I was like 80 pounds.
Yeah, but what did them saying what they said had anything to do with that?
Because they were just like, I don't want her here. The baby stinks. Yeah, and so it's just like.
So you wanted support and care from these people that you're in your community. Yeah.
And I didn't feel supported. It was just like, I'm doing all of this for people. I'm standing up and defending and giving my life, and these people are over here playing with it. Yeah, that's how it felt like. If you don't want me here, fine, I'll go, but don't be doing that. Don't be like, and they did that a lot, but this time I got to really hear it. And I didn't tell them anything about that. Maybe like 2 years later, they didn't even know that. That's why I made the decision to leave, because I heard them. It was like, so, but it was a whole bunch of two-facedness. So I think that's another reason why I have the perspective I have, because I saw it's a lot of two-facedness in that whole group. That whole group was not pure. These people did not have the best intentions. Sometimes I know people like to think highly of themselves, but I was able to see how nasty and two-faced people are. But all they did was just take that same nastiness and that same two-facedness and put it back on his ass. Because he created an environment for people to be like that.
Yeah.
He
made it okay to pit us against one another.
Yeah. So his group of people was just a reflection of him. And the group of people was a reflection of him.
And then he pitted them against himself.
Yeah. So I don't have no pity for him being in jail, because it's like, you was the leader and this was the followers. But at the same time, it's like, we go hand in hand. You can't be a leader without followers. You can't be a follower without leaders. And so it's just like, so just the nastiness was all around. And like I said, the two-facedness. And I just remember plenty of times where I'll be trying to tell these women something and they'll go and tell on me, be like, she's speaking against the message. They will do whatever they could to throw me under the bus. All of them.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, that's what you get. That's why I be having that, because it's like, I remember the women, they be coming to me like, can you help me? And and I talk to them, and the next thing I know is a meeting, because either Kendra, Velvet, or one of the members will be like, yes, she's speaking against the message. But then when I had a chance to explain myself, then he'd be like, well, she has a point sometimes. Like, a lot of times he'd be like, well, she has a point what she's saying. It ain't exactly what I said, but I get what she's trying to say. Yeah. And so how do you come back from that? Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, it's just like, that's why I be thinking the way that I be thinking about it, because I was like, I know these people. I've seen them. I've seen a lot of them. So if you want to understand how it is, you have to go back to the beginning. I see the beginning of how people are and their behavior. So this is the result of that. At some point, you can't just be blindly led by someone and go against your own discernment without these being the consequences. It's like, yeah, it was cute in the beginning. We in the jungle naked eating fruit, and he is God and I'm God and all this and that. Oh, we're going to just do whatever you say. at a certain point, the levee is going to break, and then this is the result of that.
Mhm.
It's all good to be blindly led when it's working out for you, but then when that shit go completely left, now everybody a victim, and now this and that, and I didn't want to be here, and all. It's just like, no, that's how it gets started.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, I think, like, so I was trying to figure out, like, what is the reason you went, and then you left because you were trying to connect this, that everybody left for their own selfish reasons. So,
yeah, I just felt like I wasn't like supported, or my selfish reason was, yeah, I just didn't feel. So what was your selfish reason?
Yeah, my selfish.
What your self-centered reason? We talk about selfish.
My
reason,
self-centered reason for leaving was that I had gone to carbonation because I wanted to be part of a community. I wanted to be part of like a small group of people who are working on themselves, and at that time it had just gotten really. It was just him battling young Pharaoh. Basically, we were up all night, and he's just yelling at a screen with another man, and a lot of times just saying shit that's not true, or just like not owning up to his shit. And so I was just like, what the hell am I doing with my life? Like, I'm literally here uploading 8 hours of this man just arguing with another man, when like this is not what I signed up for or what I came for. So that was my self-centered reason. Like, so I think at that time, me and Flo and Jazz were like envisioning the possibility of something similar, but that wasn't with all the shenanigans, right? So I think, even though obviously that never came to be because that failed immediately, I think it was the idea of it that allowed me to like feel good with leaving, and also the fact that I was leaving with people. But yeah, ultimately it was because I wasn't having the experience that I wanted to have. That was my self-centered reason for wanting to leave and for leaving. You know, and I think everybody that did leave or whatever, like, also shared a similar experience. I mean, we've talked about them ourselves, like the individuals in our own interpretation of, you know, they could tell their own story, but our own interpretation of why they left. But I do think that a lot of the commonalities was that people were just not getting what they wanted. And that's not bad or good. It could be like they wanted something to go their way in terms of the relationship or partnership, and it didn't. And that's why they, you know, but at the end of the day, I think that's the common thread.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm proud of y'all and Jazz. I wish he would have led with love. I really wanted to know what switched his mind to think how he started acting was okay. I still have love for Chief, and that's honest, Monique Ray. I won't shame you for still having love for Chief. You know, yeah. But I do think I believe that he led with love. You know, so what is love to you, Monique? See, these are words.
Well, that's why he defined love as understanding.
Like, to him, love is understanding. And even if that means I'm going to have to bop you upside your head, he's like, you need to understand this because I love you. Like that, like, so that's what I'm saying. It's like, what is love to you? You know, because everybody interprets love differently. So that's why, based on your belief, when you saw that, you were like, that ain't love. So that's what this whole conversation is about when it comes to cults. It's about belief, because you'll see something and it goes against what you believe in. It's not about whether this was right or wrong. It's based on your belief system, because your belief system says this is right. Your belief system says this is wrong. But that's what it all comes down to. But that's how these people, like ourselves, got into situations like carbonation because of our belief about it. So that's why now people can look at the footage and be like, I can't believe these people. How could y'all not see that? Because we were blinded by our belief. And that's why he was able to do the things that he was able to do to people, because of what they believed. And he knew what we believed in. That's why he talked about polygamy, homosexuality, community nature, because those are things that people believe in. So if he could talk about the things that people believed in the way that he did, he knew he could attract that to him and those people that are in alignment to that. Now, I don't think that he was intentionally trying to harm people. I just think that when it comes to these men and these cults and stuff, men are going to be men. Like men are going to respond to it. And a lot of times women will look at this situation and be like, I wish he would have responded this way. Well, he responded like a man in his situation would respond. Like,
it brings out the true nature. Even with the women, right? The women
Yeah.
started to be like doing petty stuff to like try to get their place in it. Like
Yeah.
like the true nature, human nature comes out in these isolated situations.
Yeah.
You get to really experience
Yeah.
a deep level of human nature that is outside of the social, the social
Mhm.
contracts that we have. Like you can't walk out here naked in society, right? Because there's a social expectation like that's taboo.
Yeah.
But if you create a space that's isolated, we did like women walking around topless. It wasn't a thing, right? So you start to explore human nature, and pretty soon, like you find out what human nature is capable of, and we don't like it.
Okay, so the real kid just said revenge porn is illegal. Yeah, I think at that point he got messy. He got sloppy. Like he got sloppy with that. For that to happen, and by that time, wasn't he in the States? So
Right.
the laws are different in other countries than it is in the States. Okay. And yeah, the viewers kept calling because of the abuse we saw live. Yeah, some people really did take it seriously. Like some people looked at it like a reality show, and some people are just like, this is not okay, and really took action. Mm-hmm. Monique said, it's also sad how some of the viewers were encouraging him to treat everyone. What?
Yeah.
See, we all played a part. Everybody. She said, let me say this, read this if y'all didn't see this. She said, it's also sad how some of the viewers were encouraging him to treat everyone poorly. But I'm sure a lot of people would be like, well, they were brainwashed too. Okay. Okay. If you like, I can't talk to people that just say that just peg it off of brainwashing. Were they brainwashed too to want that? Is it y'all want to see this person get beat up or put in the closet, put a flower? She said y'all want to see this person get beat up or put in the closet, put a flower or green heart in the chat.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, it became just like a spectacle. It became like
a spectacle.
Yeah, like a game,
Wow.
like they could participate in.
Wow. Yeah. And you see it every day on TV, on social media. You see, this is what get clicks. This is the stuff. And I know he said he tried to play that off like, oh, we were pretending. And no, you don't get to just say that. Like, you putting this stuff out here. Like, yeah, they gonna lock you up. Oh, Monique said, I still don't understand how it was revenge porn. When she was there, she allowed him to post it. Everyone had already seen that same video he posted weeks before, and she said it was okay on camera. Well, this is the thing, Monique, which I agree, but when we come down to the law, it's left up to interpretation. It's left up to interpretation because if there is a video of that and how he's presenting it, like I think I remember a little bit. He was posting it. I didn't get to see it, but I just remember him posting it after she had left and started denouncing the group. It's all about context. So with the right context, that it could look like revenge. You know what I mean? Just like with the grape situation, I don't believe that he raped her, but by law, the law says even if she said no, that's grape. Even if she'd be like, no, stop, don't matter. It's grape. See, I think when we think of grape, we thinking that somebody's getting beat, bruised, and taken. No, like grape is if a woman did not fully give consent and you still do it anyway, that's grape. If
they did get consent and they changed their mind.
That's grape. Even if she has remorse, buyer's remorse, that's great. If she's under the influence, but well aware of what she's doing, but she still has some alcohol, and she says that she didn't want to do it, but it was the alcohol, that's grape. You see what I'm saying? These are the laws. You don't have to agree with them, but that's the law. So even though a lot of us believe that there was that he didn't technically do it by law, if she did say no, I don't stop. And you know how women are, we be like, no, do it. No, I'm gonna teach my son, if a woman does not say yes, she down, and she's doing that back and forth, you better get up, put your clothes on, and leave. Because at any moment she can say by law that you raped her. If she does not say yes, and she's like, I don't know, that's a no. That's a no. That by law, that's grape. So yeah. You don't have to like it, but that's the law. Okay. Nubia said, I hated how Nature Boy treated you and Rainbow. I'm glad y'all moved on quickly and went on to a beautiful life together. He didn't treat Ketzel bad. If anything, nah, Ketzel, let me tell y'all something about this one. Ketzel could do no wrong. And there have been plenty of times where I'll be like, y'all, Ketzel is not on the frequency. He don't want to be here. He is not right. It didn't matter. He was useful to Nature Boy. It didn't even matter that Ketzel was just like, you are not God. I don't look at you, Messiah. I don't believe in you. And Nature Boy was just like, well, you should. He was like,
don't worry, we'll get there.
We'll get there, but I don't want you to leave. Like, let that be anybody else that would said that. Oh my gosh. You know, but this one over here, he had it good. He really did. He got away with a lot of stuff. And I just think because he was useful, I just think Nature Boy was able to overlook because Ketzel was very useful to him. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even years later, he still wanted us back.
He still wanted us.
He kept calling back, and like we're like, bro, we moved on.
Oops, I'm trying to like scroll. The real kid just said the baby stink. The women were supposed to help you and the baby. You know why the baby stink? You know why the baby stink? Because the placenta was still attached to the baby, and they didn't know that when there's raw flesh, you don't wet it, you dry it out. And they were wetting it every day to the point the placenta was rotting off of the baby. They could have killed the Zen. And then at some point, we had to cut it off. And so then Zen had this like rotting umbilical cord on him, and it stunk. It smelled like death in the room. I didn't know. And that clearly they didn't know. And so
they were the ones advising it, and then they were the ones complaining about it.
Yeah, they were the ones doing it. And then Nature Boy got pissed because he was like, this house smells like rotten corpse. I was like, well, technically it is. So that's what happened.
It was an experiment. You were just the first one.
Monique said, I feel like he did that because he was low-key jealous that y'all baby was born first and getting so much attention from the viewers. Y'all baby was so cute. Yeah, probably. And then plus he didn't want me to have the baby with Ketzel. He wanted me to not want to have the baby. Like, yeah, he didn't want me to have the baby. But my mind was already set with the baby. And he was like, you want that baby, don't you? And I'm just like, what does he want me to say about that? I'm pregnant. But yeah, he didn't want any of the women to have children with the other people, even though he was saying we need to populate the kingdom. But I think he was meaning with all my babies, not the other men's babies.
Right.
Sherry said, so do you not believe that he brainwashed the people? You want to answer that first?
Here we go.
I
mean, this is our classic debate.
There's
two ideas that
our child is coming up, so we might need to pause. We've been on this live for about 40, but I hear him, so see. Hey, Zen.
We're just talking about you to the people
We're
online.
on live. We're on camera. Do you need anything? Are you just coming to see what we were doing? Okay.
Juice and snack.
Juice in the snack. Okay. Well, you can talk, and I'll go and help him because I want to make sure he's
All right,
okay.
I'm just gonna ramble. It's what people love. All right, guys. I'm just gonna take over temporarily, so don't freak out. Yeah, me and Grace, Stephanie, whatever, however you guys know her, we kind of go back and forth with this concept of brainwashing because there's basically two schools of thought when it comes to this. One of them is that we are susceptible to programming, that we are being brainwashed. And so, you have to be careful about what you consume because it can influence you and how you think and the decisions that you make. That's one school of thought. The other school of thought is that you cannot be influenced by anything that's not already within you, that you only are attracted to, and you only perpetuate that which already exists within you. So, for example, two people watch the same thing. One person resonates deeply because it's already within them. And so they take on that influence, so to speak. And the other person doesn't because it's not within them. So we're always looking for the thing that reflects our inner world. So when we see it out in the world, people say you were brainwashed, but it could just be that you were attracted to something that was already within you. So those are the two schools of thought. I tend to think somewhere in the middle. I do think that um, there is things within us that we resonate with, and that's why we pursue them. Like, even with carbonation, like my brother, I think he has stumbled on Nature Boy before me. And then I saw a video, like he saw it, and yeah, I don't know if he thought too much of it. But then when I saw it, it completely changed my life. Like I was in deep resonance and I couldn't move on from that information, from watching the videos and just being consumed by it. Like it was literally consuming my attention. And so that was an example for me, like, oh, this person saw it and was cool, but it wasn't compelled to do anything with it. Whereas I saw it, and because it was within me to execute and to resonate with it, I went as far as I did with it. So that's why when it comes to the term brainwashing, we're very intentional with not just throwing it out there, because a lot of times it becomes a justification or an excuse to justify behavior that person was in alignment with. So because they don't get the outcomes that they want, then they go say, I was brainwashed, because then they don't have to take accountability for that resonance that they experienced at some point. And so I think that that's the danger behind using the word brainwash too loosely, because then you don't hold people accountable. But I do think with children, that's happening naturally. Obviously, they're getting imprinted whatever their caretakers are showing them, teaching them. So yeah, I just gave them like two schools of thought that we always talk about, which is like it's already within you, so you can never be brainwashed. You're just resonating with what's already within you. And then the other one is you have to be careful because you don't want to listen to something that's going to brainwash you into doing something that you don't want to do.
Yeah, that's always been the conversation with you and I. Okay, so you're about to see my boob. Okay, sorry. Okay, so when it comes to brainwashing, for how I see it, is that my only concern with that perspective is that it limits people, and it doesn't give people, it takes away a person's ability and right to choose. So when you say someone's brainwashed, how do we get to decide the line between a person choosing and them being influenced? Like, so for me, you can start there if you want to, but don't stop there. That's my thing. You can start there. See, my perspective with brainwashing has evolved. Usually I'll be like, no. But now I'm like, you can start that people were brainwashed. But that's the start. We got to get to, but what was the person's belief in the first place? because the only way a person can influence you is based on your beliefs. Okay? If you didn't have a belief that was resonant to Nature Boy, you cannot be influenced or brainwashed by him. But because of your own beliefs, what you choose to believe, now you are vulnerable to people that also believe in that and represent that belief. Because if they don't check their belief, every member in carbonation, if they don't sit down and ask themselves, well, what beliefs did I have that allowed me to be brainwashed in the first place, they're going to repeat it again. That's why you seen some of them that were still on camera. That's why you seen them going through different cults, different people, different relationships. That's why you still see some of these women that were abused by Nature Boy. They will go into different relationships, being abused by this man, being abused by that man. Because it did not start at Nature Boy. That belief was in them before they got there. And that belief stayed with them once they left. So that's what I want this conversation when it comes to cults and why people do what they do. I want beliefs to be a part of that conversation because I think it would heal a lot of people because I don't see anything wrong with cults. Me and my husband do not see anything wrong with cults. But if you are one of those people that be like cults are bad and you don't want this to happen, I say look into the power of beliefs. Okay? Because you can sit here and say, oh, no. For example, Kessel, what is something that you don't believe in?
That I don't believe in.
Do you believe in, what's something that I know about you? What's something that you don't believe in? Like you just be like, I don't believe in that.
It's just like an esoteric belief.
I don't know, whatever.
I don't know. Like,
well, my point is
like,
that if it's something, but then if I tell you, Kessel, that you should believe in leprechauns because of whatever reason, if your belief's strong enough and valid enough, there's nothing I can say that will make you believe in leprechauns. But if there's something in you that, you know what, I'm not completely on one side with leprechauns.
Yeah.
But if you give me enough information and a good enough argument, you probably could sway me to believe in leprechauns.
Right.
Because you have in the rules of sales, you have three different types of people. You have people that it don't matter what you do, they're not buying from you. Then you have the people that they don't have an opinion. They don't care about your product either way.
Yeah.
And there are people that don't know anything about your product. And I think they said the person that you want to sell to is the one that is it neutral?
Mm-hmm.
Is the one that's neutral because they're neutral. They don't have a yes or no. They're neutral. So you have a better chance of selling or brainwashing this person to your product because they don't have a stance on. This person says, no, hell no, I don't want to use this person. I don't even know anything about it. So this is the person that you want to sell to because they have enough information.
Yeah.
They just need you to persuade them a little bit more to go with their product.
Do you think that situations like this help or could be a very useful tool for people to refine what they believe or to reassess what they believe?
Yeah. This
because it kind of calls into question like you know what you actually believe, right? And so like going back and reassessing, and because a lot of times we're just walking around with beliefs that we don't even know why we believe them, you know. And so because if you don't believe, because this is what you're saying, if you believe in something strong enough, it's not a threat to you because you're solid about what you believe, right? That customer that's like, I know your product, I know I don't fuck with it, I don't rock with it, I don't want it. I've done my research, I'm clear about my belief.
Yeah.
That salesman poses no threat, like they're never buying, right?
Yeah.
But it's the person that maybe they were born with, maybe they went to church with their parents, they were kind of forced into it at an early age, but they never really questioned or assessed why they believe it or what they truly believe, to be very clear about it. That person can then is open to a lot of things, right?
Yes. That person is open to a lot of things. And as y'all continue to munch on the members' content, listen to what they're saying. They were seeking, they were looking, they were enthralled, they were open. So that allowed them, as y'all say, to get brainwashed because they weren't solid in who they were and what they believed, or they were given beliefs throughout their life that they didn't really understand. Or they didn't really have an experience in. So here come Nature Boy coming on. Oh, you believe in God? You believe in nature? Oh, you think, okay, come on. And then everybody like, okay, we're going. This is what I'm saying about accountability. Some people grow up and they mature through their own experience and they just know what to do. Some people got to go out into this world, bump their head and fuck around and find out. People that join cults is in that group. They're going to fuck around and find out. They're going to go on the dark side. They're going to go down that tunnel and they're going to put their hand down that hole and see what comes. That is left up to the person, not to the thing that bite their ass. It's not left up to that. It's left up to you. Are you going to put your hand in there and sign down?
But, you know, like a lot of people, like I think there's two sides to that. Like I think a lot of people, they'll be like, oh, you joined a cult or you went and did that, like you're so easily manipulated or you're weak. But I think there's this other side to it too that I feel more so for myself. Like I don't think I went to carbonation because I was weak. I think I went there because I had the courage to step outside of the norm for my life.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people ignore that. That's a lot of people, you can criticize these people for going and stepping out of the norm, but most people don't have the courage to do that. Now, did they get the outcome they wanted? Were they unclear about a lot of other shit? Yeah, of course. But I think that let's not diminish like the fact that to really believe in something and to live your life as if that's the case is very rare. A lot of people say they believe shit, but they don't truly live their life as if that's the case. They don't just drop everything they're doing, their business, their family, and willing to dedicate their life to Jesus. I mean, they go to church.
Yeah. Some people do.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's rare that you see people who follow their beliefs, that go out into Tibet to become a monk because they're like, I want to live this existence as if this is the case. Like, I don't care about societal norms. I don't care about family, legacy, lineage, money, none of that shit. I'm going to abandon all of that, you know? And I think a lot of times people just spin it like, oh, they were just dumb. Like but it's like, there's also, for some people, maybe some people were trying to escape, right? I can't speak for everybody. For me, I know that it took a lot to get me out of the world that I had grown up in, you know? And I'm really thankful for that because it did transform me immensely. Like that experience, me leaving the environment I grew up in, the family, the friends, all those relationships, it was 100% the catalyst for a deep and profound transformation for me. And I would have never experienced that had I just stayed in the bubble that I was born in, you know? And of course, I'm sure there's people who left to carbonation just because they were trying to escape their life. And they weren't actually in pursuit of development and achievement or like any of that. You know, there's all kinds of situations, but it's not always just that people were dumb and naive and you know, like they were just trying to run away. Like it's more to it.
And that's how I look at the members. I look at all the members that's actually stayed, not the ones that just came and left. I'm looking at all of them that actually stayed. I believe that they are very powerful. I don't know if they really subscribe to that, but if I join something. Whatever I put my name on it, I'm telling y'all, it's legit. And it may not have been what we said we was growing and healing and get out of Babylon. I don't think we realized what that really meant. And I look at all of them, even the ones that stayed through all of that, I look at them as very powerful people. Like they were really able to endure that shit. Like they was really able to tolerate that. So I don't want their strength to be misconstrued as weakness, but at the same time, there was weakness. It's like that's why you can't look at this black and white. It's like your strength can become your weakness can become your strength. And
that's so true.
Yeah, so that's how I look at them, and even with myself, like that it's all happening. It's all happening at the same time. There's not one way of looking at this. If you are intelligent and understand the laws of the universe, there's no one way of looking at this. This is just one of those situations that a lot of people got into or got to observe, that is here to show us ourselves as humans. And to be human is all different types of layers. There's so many different layers of being human. We only want to think that being human is love and light, but to be human is all of those things. Love, light, darkness, hate, chaos. That's the experience that we came here to have all those different layers of what it means to be human. Now, that might not have been something that you wanted to partake in, but it's definitely something that got your attention and definitely something that you care about and you're watching. So you're just the viewer in this story. But then there are other people that were the players of this story. But it's all a story that we're all a part of. And
sometimes some of the viewers even became players too.
And so, well, we was the viewers that became players. So I just think that that's why I look at somebody like Velvet. Oh, she real powerful. Oh, that girl powerful. The stuff that she went through, the stuff that she did, and where she at now, I don't even know. She's 30 years old, and the life that she lived, I don't even know if she might be 30. I don't know. But the stuff that she did, oh my God, there's no way I would have been able to do any of that stuff, to go through any of that. None of it. You know, her power is just misused. And I think a lot of times people that get themselves in situations, their power is misused. And, you know, and yes, some people can abuse your power, but you can also abuse your own power because you don't see it, you know, and that is where we hold ourselves accountable to what we don't see within ourselves, about ourselves. That's the accountability piece that always needs to be in these conversations. If we truly want healing and growth and awareness, is that you have to have that, like the accountability piece. Without it, you just a hamster in the wheel.
Yeah.
Somebody said, how soon after getting there did you realize it was a scam? I never thought it was a scam. What I was idolizing. I think what it was that we idolize or romanticize what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Okay, like, you know, you can sit there and watch Nature Boy videos and listen to his downloads while you're at the comfort of your home, and you get to tune in and you just want to, you know, indulge in his message and you want to learn. But when you're at home, you get to do that at your pace. But when you get there, you don't realize, like, no, I got to be tuned into him 24/7. As soon as he has a thought, as soon as he turn on the camera, I got to be there sitting. Well, sometimes you're tired. Sometimes you don't feel like listening to nobody. But no, if you're in that environment, he expects that you want to be tuned into what he's saying at all times.
I don't think a lot of people saw that in the early days because he had the camera flipped on himself, right? But they didn't realize that behind the camera, everybody was sitting down listening.
Yeah, and
but it's interesting, like the terminology that people use, like brainwash, scam, false prophet. Like it's always like a negative connotation to it, which I get. But yeah, to be more accurate, I don't think it was a scam either for me. I just think it wasn't what I thought it was.
Yeah, we idolized it.
Yeah. It wasn't a scam in the sense that he never told me, hey, it's gonna be exactly this way. And then I got there and it wasn't. No, like he didn't tell me nothing. Like I just watched, came to my own conclusions in my mind based on my desires and what I wanted and wished for. And then when I got there, quickly found out it wasn't that. It was pretty immediate though, like the difference of those two things.
And most people that went there, they only watched like a couple of videos and they made a decision off of the couple of videos that they watched, and then they went. Like for me, I found him on March 31st, and I was at his house by April 17th. So you do the math. Now I was watching the videos and I was, but I was enthralled by the teachings. I wasn't thinking about, well, what is that going to look like when you get there? I'm letting the teachings give me an idea of what I think it's going to be. So when he's talking about give your poop back to the earth, that sounds good in theory until the day you get there and you got to poop, and then somebody standing there with you, watching you poop on a tree. Well, if you ain't never been in the bathroom with somebody using the bathroom, the last thing you want is somebody standing there with you at a tree outside with you trying to poop. So stuff like that. That's not a scam. That's just like, oh, I didn't realize that, when we're pooping outside, everybody can see me. Like, and like with you, I know when he came, he was a raw foodist. Well, Nature Boy always talked about the B6 diet, about the fruits and the vegetables, and we eat this way. But then when Ketzel got there, he realized that we didn't eat raw. We ate cooked potatoes and Chinese food. And
I think I knew that though.
Oh, you knew
I knew that he ate cooked food, but again, I thought I was about to go and like live differently than that and just be like, well, I'm raw, so y'all can keep eating your cooked food.
Yeah.
Like, but no, it's like when I got there, it was like we all eat the same way, and this is why, because like this is yada 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 whatever. But yeah, it was like a culture shock,
Yeah, it was a culture shock.
It's funny because it was a culture shock to be in that environment that was very curated. I remember like he's going live and like everybody's getting ready to sit down. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Mm-hmm. And they're trying to call me to come sit down. I'm like, why? He's just going live. Like, okay. Like I didn't even think like they had to teach me like, no, when he goes live, we sit and listen. But then they explained it and it made perfect sense. I mean, he was like, well, isn't that why you came? Like, didn't you like listening to his lives? Weren't you tuned in? Like, don't you want to hear this information? Yeah. In my mind, it was like, yeah, but why do I have to sit down and have to be so structured? Like, why does it matter if I'm in the kitchen or if I just pop in and out, right? Yeah. But, in there, he was cultivating this culture of like, no, when I speak, when I teach, when I go live, y'all sit, and this is the download, this is the class we're having, and
yeah, like he didn't explain like those things. Like, so you can decide, is that a scam? But because we don't look at it as a scam, we look at it as like, oh, we left out a whole bunch of details of things that we should be thinking about before we go pack our bags and go live with somebody that we saw on the internet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, that's, yeah, like you really don't know what you get yourself into. Yeah, he definitely wanted the attention. Sans April said with the girl, with Janae in the video, he reposted it after she left, pinned it to the top of the page, and told everyone to go view it. See, that's what he gets. That's what he get for doing all of that. And that, oh my God. But I remember when they tried to spin it and be like, that video was for educational purposes. That's why he was doing that.
See, that's the part I don't fucking like. Like when they get into the spot of not taking accountability and they try to like act stupid, like bro, just like admit like we're not retarded. Like we know like why it was done and why things were done. Like that's that's one of the things that I feel like people will respect them a lot more if they just stop playing like when they get caught up in those moments, or stop trying to like cover it up with these dumb explanations, or like, oh, like with the whole like he's not allowed to have like he was just trying to go live in his cell, like that's illegal, that's not allowed. Like they try to victimize him.
He was very exaggerant, and if you was there, you had to go along with the exaggeration too. Like he was the word I would use for him is exaggerant. Like he exaggerated the truth for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, hold on.
Damn, you already been here 2 hours.
I know, we can say, that's what I'm saying, like we can talk. Hey, it's just always your chicken is down there.
I don't know.
What's it, Jaya? He even put a clown with it because she said one time that they were having, and she saw a clown. He knew exactly what he was doing. What? He also admitted. She said no. Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, and he admitted. He said no. Yes, I see. Yeah, it's laws like that's in place for these things. What about the power dynamics? Do you think that played a part in it? What about the power dynamics? Do you think that played a part in the grape? It could, but I think for me, and as a woman, any of the women out there, ask yourself, has there ever been a time where you was with someone and then when you got there, you kind of like, nah, I'm not feeling it. I don't want to do it. Y'all already kissing, already touching. And then you're like, nah. Like, I think we all can say that we've been in situations where we're just like, no. But for the most part, when we say no, the person stopped. But then there's been moments for me in my life where I said, no, I don't really want to do it. And then like he's still on me. And at some point, because I'm there, I just go along and just do it. Like that is in context, in a situation that's not grape. Because when we think of grape, we're thinking of physical, you're taking it. But the law says, no, you can't do that anymore, women. That you can't just say, no, I don't really want to do it, and you do it. Now they're saying as a woman, like if you ain't fully consent in that and you do it, that's considered grape. So I don't think he knew the laws. But none of us knew the laws until that situation happened. When I did the research, I was like, oh, well, technically he did. But I think when we think of grape, we're thinking of like you walking down the street and somebody attack you and just that's what we think about. But nah, they're like, no, she's not fully consent. Like that is that, so yeah. Mm-hmm. yeah, he did say washing the brain. Yeah. There was a combo of sleep deprivation, hunger, and the perpetual anxiety at bipolar behavior leader affected people's decision making. And I will also add based on what they already believed. I'm going to say it, y'all. I'm going to say it because in order to know how something ends, you have to understand the beginning. You cannot have these type of conversations if you don't go back to the beginning. So again, it's about the belief. It's about the belief.
Why do you think that it's hard for people to? Why do you think it's hard for people to like focus on the parts of the story that pertain to the people that they label as victims, as far as like their role in it, like or like, why do you think it's hard for them to look at that side of the story?
No, you ask them. I don't know. Ask them that question. I would like to know, like,
I just
because there's
noticed
some people that don't.
Yeah, I just noticed that, like, because obviously it's very common, right? Like the default perspective is that, you know, we were all victims and this guy's a monster. I get that. That's like the very default way of looking at it. But I think that what we are bringing up is valid, and it's not to diminish like people's experiences or how they're processing it, or whatever real life emotions they're feeling as a result of how they think. But I think when we share what we share is to empower people, because at the end of the day, like, this is life. Like, this is just a version of this that happened with Nature Boy and Carbonation, but there's going to be other moments in your life that are going to challenge you in similar ways. And so how can we empower ourselves to take accountability, to take ownership, to take that power back? Because even when we describe a power dynamic, we are outsourcing our power quite literally by saying like there's a power dynamic, right? And it's not that that's not true, but the power dynamic exists because we allow it, and because we put ourselves in situations where the dynamic of the power is imbalanced, right? So if we step into a situation where we know that that's the case, well, how can we learn from that, and how can we bring back the power to us, so that if we ever were presented with that we wouldn't find ourselves in that situation? So, you know, I just noticed that people aren't really concerned or as consumed with empowering people to not repeat that behavior through analyzing why they made it in the first place.
Well, maybe that's what we're here to do, Ketzel.
Yeah, I think
so. Respect the Truth said the T channel is an internet investigator. She's evil. You said it, not me. What do you think about the T channel? Remember, she never shown her face until recently. I think the T. Okay, so this is. I'll be straight up. I think the T is really talented in what the T does. I think the T did what he should have done, should have documented, should have kept and gathered all of the information to tell his story. And we kept wanting him to be like, we need to tell our own story. We need to do the documentaries now. But he's just so flip-floppy and just so inconsistent. He just wasn't willing to try to ground and be like, come on, let's make something out of this. Every time we were trying to make an actual show or documentary, he ended up going left, and just like he just didn't want to be contained. So because he didn't do that, now someone else is going to tell his story, and they're going to tell it in the way that they see it. But I do believe like the T don't like me, because I think I said some stuff like about the T. Because if y'all notice, I'm not on her page, thank God, because that ain't my audience over there. But I will say the T, she did her research. Like she stay on top of stuff. Like she got all the files. So because of that, she's where she's at with that documentary. That's why she's on the forefront of that documentary, because she put in that work. Despite how anybody feel about her, she you know, you can go to the T to get the tea. You know, if anything, you go over there and be like, what's going on over there with them? Because she stayed on top of it, you know. And there's other people that did, but I think the way that T did it was probably like the top tier of the internet trolls, like because Hey, buddy.
We go to outside.
Yeah, no, not yet, because it's still early and the children are just now coming home from school. So not yet.
Like 30 minutes.
Maybe like 30 minutes we can try outside. Yeah. Um
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that T channel. I think there is a very vicious energy and very
Hey Zen, don't put that back on the bed. That's because we're on camera. It does not mean we're not gonna get off of here and help you put that back on the bed. You did not play with the tripod. I don't even know why you're taking it out of the room.
yeah. Why are you taking it?
Cause why?
You want to do something?
No,
I don't want you to play with it.
absolutely not.
That's because we don't.
That ain't something
have
that
one
you do.
tripod.
We don't ever let you play with the tripod. So put it back on the bed. You can stay in here with us if you want to, but playing with
Put
the
it in here.
no, we don't let you play with the tripod at all because you're really good at taking things apart. See, look, he's already unscrewing stuff.
You can't get unscrewed.
No, I don't. I don't want to repeat myself because there will be a consequence for me repeating myself if you not putting that tripod back. So you have 5 seconds to put that tripod back on the bed. Now you said that you can't go outside. So what are you going to do now? Are you going to stay in here with us or are you going to go back downstairs?
What are you going to do in here?
I'm going to talk for a few more minutes and then I will get off because you gave us plenty of time to talk on camera.
But not anymore.
Well, maybe you're just ready to do something else. Okay, I'll do that in a few minutes. It's your turn.
What?
to entertain him for a few minutes.
To entertain me?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
Yeah. Are you going to eat?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
After this,
Oh, okay.
I'm not
Okay.
really that hungry. But yeah, I was gonna say something about the
Okay.
T channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's so interesting because I think whenever I go look at the comments, it's a very negative, vicious space. And I think that's interesting to say the least because the whole channel is meant to like expose Nature Boy pretty much. A couple other people in the community, but he's basically the main focus, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the people in there are really vicious in the way they communicate, in the way that they talk, and like it's not an enlightening place. Nobody's like looking for betterment. It's just about like this idea of like monstrosity, like just taking down this monster, right? But yeah, I just think that channel, it's interesting because I do know that they had a lot to do with documentary, and I suspect anyways that that's a big reason that we were ultimately not a part of it. But in a similar way, I believe the T is looking for same similar thing as Nature Boy, like
Really?
notoriety. They want attention. I think the difference is that they weren't able to generate that on their own, And at some point, the T did try to like share her stuff. Remember, she was like, "I'm not posting about carbonation anymore.
Yeah.
This is going to be about me. I'm vlogging or whatever." But like people didn't care. Her audience didn't care about that, and so she latched on to the thing that did get her views. And I'm not like saying like that's bad. Like I'm just saying like it's ironic to me because like we all have our own selfish desires, self-centered desires that we've spoken, but a lot of times things are painted in a very very honorable way or a very like self-righteous way when a lot of the times what we're doing is just because we want something for ourselves, right? We want the attention, the notoriety, and if we can't get it on our own merit, we can use the energy and attention generated by other people to do that as well, and so that's when like documenting these people becomes a thing until you yourself become a star. Oh, I'm the T, I'm the one who did it, I was the one who helped take this man down, and look at the documentary that we presented, like
Nature Boy gives, Nature Boy gives everybody purpose. Okay, everybody in this situation, the members, people that came out, anybody, the commentaries, he gave people purpose, and that's why when this all came out, now you see everybody and their mama making content about it, like, oh yeah, I remember, because these people got started with Nature Boy by making pages talking about him.
Oh, yeah.
Like people love, like look at us. We sitting here, 2 hours talking about this situation, but I feel like it's warranted for us because we was there. But the people that was not there and they got whole pages about it, come on, he gives people life, he gives them purpose, he gives them something to do. We was there. We don't talk about it as much, but if there's something going on and me and my husband feel compelled or I feel compelled, we'll get on because that's an experience that we were in. What's your reason? So it's like, I think all members, if they're brave enough, they should come on camera and share their experience. They share that experience when they were there. Like, what's going on with you now that you're not there? How's your life? Because I'm sure there's a lot of you that resonate with different members. Those that are here, the 29 people that are here listening to me, y'all resonate with me in some way if y'all were in there. Everybody has their own group of people that was watching that. Like, I resonate with this person. And that was the whole point of why he allowed all different types of people to come spread his message, because not everybody gonna particularly resonate with him, but you might resonate with me. And then once I got your attention, then he got your attention. It don't matter. He's gonna put his mind in our minds and still spread. That's like, what's that, virus? Yeah. So it was a business system for him. At the end of the day, it was business. Okay, so somebody said,
Look at the magic.
"Oh, you are such a magician."
Oh, it's a
Somebody said, "Oh, well," Libby said, "That's why I asked, at what point did y'all realize it was a scam? Because anything after that was a choice." Yeah. And like I said, it wasn't. We won't use that word scam, because we take ownership. And we've seen it throughout the years of ourselves,
what are
how we
getting
idolize
scammed
things.
out of the.
Well, no, you can be scammed in things. I just don't
What
think
would
that.
he have been scammed out of? Like, it wasn't like he was like,
I don't know.
I'm gonna, you're gonna get $5,000 a month if you come live. Like, there was no promises that were made.
Yeah, there was no promises that were made.
That we were scammed out of. It's not like we were like, yeah, like he told us that something was gonna happen, or he was gonna give us something that never happened. Like,
yeah, I honestly think that it was our own idolization and romanticization that we wanted it to be something, and when we got there, it was something, Oh, Sherry said she loves that explanation about brainwashing. That's an excellent point. See, I'm looking at y'all's comments later on in life, so I don't know what point or
yeah, you
explanation.
need to like look at them
I know.
sooner.
Okay. Oh, Monique said, I only have love for him because he awakened my consciousness to astrology and certain things I never heard of, grounding, astrology, epigenetics, and he broke it down in a way I could actually understand. Yeah, and I think for some people, that's where it stops. Like, I love him because of what he taught me, and I think that's fine. And that doesn't take away someone else's experience that got abused by him. Like, this is okay for this person to love him for what she got from him, but maybe the other person didn't get that. But I think it's okay to say that. Like, and that's what I said earlier. He had awakened and enlightened a lot of Black people on a lot of topics that we were not privy to. Oh, see, look.
I can put it back.
You better put it back and you better leave it alone.
Yeah, don't do that part, because that part, it's not working properly.
Find something else to do. Not the tripod. That's the only tripod that we have. And Daddy uses that for his work. Find something else. What's in this? What's in this? Use your magic to find what's in this. Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, Mom's trying to.
But religious beliefs aren't unique to each person. They're genuinely instilled. Instilled from where? Y'all understand that cult messaging or any manipulation of these cycles begin with the more acceptable or even more truthful things, right? That's what hooks people. The rest comes after. Yeah, but I say it starts before you get to the cult. I say starts in childhood. I say, see, oh, that's a blue. It looks black, but it's blue. I say these things were implanted in you before you got there. So that's what we want to talk about. If y'all trying to do prevention, if y'all trying to get understanding, you want to go back from the
What's this?
beginning of why did you
Mama.
even get influenced by it in the first place?
It's poop.
Poop. Oh, no, that's not poop. That's supplements.
Looks like a
Mhm.
little toilet.
That's a good point, like about it starting like in a.
Stupid.
What?
Libby said, speaking of the tape, he's average. I don't get the hype. Had to have been the motion of the ocean.
Just dust.
Monique said, yes, I thought it was going to be about growing fruits and vegetables, healing as people, brotherly, sisterly love, community, family, and elevation of the highest frequency of consciousness. He really had me fooled for a while. I started seeing the contradictions in the knowledge. One minute he's saying eat this way, now back to eating meat. He was just flip-flopping on things he stated. But World News was the first to start reporting. Yeah, I had spoke to World News, and he had told me that he's been following Nature Boy before he even became Nature Boy. So he probably seen some things. World News was finding every location he went to. He was the one really exposing him first. Yeah. Peace and wellness to you, Michelle. Hey, Medea. Hey, Lioness.
You hate that?
I ate.
Oh.
That's honey. That's honey.
Do you guys and Jazz and her children's father communicate at all? We were, but we're over here. They over there.
What is this?
Yeah, I don't.
Honey.
Oh, that's honey. That's that nasty honey. Yeah, because they were living in Playa when we were living in Playa recently, but they're not living in Playa no more.
That's like blueberries.
Bluebells?
What's in here?
Oh, Linus Goddess said, I remember watching a video you made when your hair was short and called I Love Myself. I still watch it all the time. Oh, yeah.
It's something. This one?
Yeah, Down D said I agree. He awakened a lot of Black people to some things they never thought about. Yeah, he did. Oh, I was singing.
But there's a lot of people too that will never admit that. You know.
Why would they? Hell, like people, if they do, people will attack them. You and I, we've been attacked enough. So where we don't. We built for this. It don't matter.
People like probably got put on game with a lot of stuff, but because they don't want to like credit him, like they don't, so or they pretend like they don't even know who he is, but you start talking to people and like oh yeah, I know, like people know who he is. They just don't say it publicly, even like big figures and so even celebrities. A lot of celebrities will know who he is, but they don't announce it publicly.
Did you really eat one of these?
No.
Medea said, greetings, family. I really enjoyed this conversation because it made me understand your perspective a lot more. What did you gain from this conversation? What was one of the perspectives you had, and what did you learn from this conversation, Medea? Yeah, I appreciate this, and I believe many other people will as well. Yeah, and that's why I'm sharing, because it's a topic that's active. So that's why I'm like, I'm living my life. I've moved on, but at the same time, this was an experience that I was in, and I do believe that my perspective is valid. I was there, So, and after carbonation, I went on an awakening, I went on an awakening journey. I got to see a lot about myself that I'm just like, oh God, I went through some things and I learned a lot. And I definitely had a dark night of the soul experience. Now, where I'm at when it comes to like healing and growth, I don't got to do all that. And now, healing and growth to me looks like love, life, and laughter and pleasure. I don't need no food coming to me, knocking inside my head or making me feel bad about myself. I don't need that. Absolutely not. I found my voice. I found my power. And I thank Nature Boy for awakening me to the parts of me that I forgot. Okay. Pain can be one of your greatest teachers, but at some point you're going to have to integrate what that pain has shown you and take accountability, and then move forward in your life. And that's what I did and still doing. I'm still got lots to learn. I definitely have not arrived to the point, because then that's death. But just like with this conversation is, continue to evaluate your beliefs. Start asking questions about who
Audit.
God is. Audit.
I like that. You said
You
audit
like
your
it?
beliefs.
Yeah, audit.
When was the last time you audited your
When was the
beliefs?
last time you audited your beliefs? Ask yourself, why do you believe in what you believe in? Why do you believe in God? When it comes to God, what is that? Where did that come from? When it comes to truth, ask yourself, why do you believe that? Because you were influenced, you were brainwashed. See, our little boy, he came into this world not knowing anything, but he was pure existence and being. But as he got older, as he got more aware, he started looking at him and me and his dad as information of how to be. And that used to make me cry at night, because I'm like, I'm such an imperfect person. And this is how I can be sometimes. And I see that. I see that anger in my child. I see that hurt in my child. I see that. And I'm just like, oh. But I didn't know, like, we are each other's mirrors, and we are little sponges soaking up everything. So that's why I said, take a minute, take some steps back. Ask yourself, audit, why do I believe in what I believe? How strong do I believe in this? Can I let this belief go so I can continue to be free? Because our beliefs is what hold us in bondage. It's not a person. It is our belief system. It's our perspective on how we view life. That's what gets us. That's what brainwashes us. It's our own beliefs. Okay? With all the information out today, there are people still believing in Jesus and still calling themselves Christians. With all this information coming out, with the government and voting, there are still people identifying themselves as Republican and Democrats and still playing this stupid game. Like, come on. It's because that's their belief. They believe in that. You better not tell these people that they better not believe in what they believe. See, everything I said to y'all today, I have my handout sharing with y'all. And I could be wrong. Everything I said, I can be wrong about everything. You want to know why I choose that? Because I choose freedom. And I do not want my beliefs to hold me hostage in bondage or limit my potential of this existence we call life. I see what our own beliefs can do to us and limit us. It's okay to have beliefs. It's okay to have desires, but not to your own detriment. And we see it every day. Every day. And this is why people can continue to get violated and manipulated and controlled and beaten, because of their belief system, because of what they believe. Everybody don't have the experience of getting abused or bamboozled. That's not everybody's experience, but it is that person's experience. Well, why is that? Let me ask you something. What do you believe? There you go. That's why you in that situation, because of what you believe. Now do something about your belief. Yeah. Yeah, I know it. I know. Half of y'all couldn't stand me and still can't. Michelle said, I used to couldn't stand you when you were there. What was it you couldn't stand about me? What was it the thing that you, because I feel like I'm still the same. I still feel like I'm still who I was. But you tell me why you couldn't stand me.
Self-righteousness.
I definitely was self-righteous. And I'm working on that. I'm a Sagittarius, Virgo, rising Leo moon, y'all. It's like, and trust me, I'm not using that to stay that way, but I'm just saying without thinking, like, that is, like, it's so easy for me to judge and, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, that's something that I've really been, like, working on. A better understanding of you guys, why, and also being that you both were actually there, you know many of the people and a lot of their issues, as well as a lot of things they've yet to take accountability for, specifically for development. Yeah, but I think y'all know that. I think y'all know. I think y'all know Velvet is a force to be reckoned with. I think y'all know that, and that's what I'll say. Like, I think y'all know that about Velvet. I think y'all know, be like, yeah, that happened to her, but she is not this little meek little person. Like, you know. Yeah, it really has. Oh, you said it's been eye-opening. You're welcome. Okay, so Michelle said after you both decided to leave and you decided to go back. Oh, okay. Oh, I was so mad with you because I thought you were messing up a great start. Yeah. And that would have been my third time going back, because I got kicked out the first time, then left the second time, and then I was about to go back the third time. Because remember, y'all, what I said, I didn't leave because I didn't agree. I left because of circumstance. I became a mother. I was tired, and I overheard them talking about me and Zen, and I left because that it's everything just lined up for me to leave. But then over time, and Nature Boy was still, like, after a while, Nature Boy was still coming back for me and communicating, and he did that all the way up to being in jail. Like, he always, every couple of years, he'd be like, y'all know you can come back, y'all know you can come back. And then he had the nerve to call us when he was in jail and asking us to come back. Like, boy, it's over, like, let it go. So like, come back to what? So for me, I still identified with them. I still wanted the movement to be the movement. But by that time, when I was about to go back with the baby, I realized that whatever I thought this was, it was not that anymore. And then that's when I had
missed the flight.
And I missed the flight twice. Remember, you bought me a ticket, and then I missed that flight, and then Kelsey bought me another ticket at the airport, and I missed that flight. Then I called Nature Boy, and I was like, hey, I missed the flight, but he didn't answer the phone. And so then in that moment, I was like, I think this is it. I think I'm done. And then the next day, he called me, like, he said, why did you call me? Or why did you do something? And I was like, I won't be able to come back. I was like, I know that. Zen, don't throw that at me. I know that it was over. It was so sad for me because I really believed in it. I really did. I really was a carbonationite. Okay, don't do that. Don't, because that is cardboard, and I don't want you to poke my eye out. I don't think they want to say. Well, it's hard. I really believed in it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why I can sit here and speak the way that I do, because no, I was 10 toes down. I really about the movement. I believed in all of that. It changed my life. Like, okay. So when it was time for me to let go of that, and I didn't know what life was going to be, and then it's just like that was really scary. And so I had to make a choice, and I made the choice to stay with my husband now and start a new life. Yeah, it was hard. It was hard for me. I don't know about everybody else, but it was something that I really was attached to because of what my belief, and it helped me so much. I got so much out of that. And it was just like, who am I now? It's like I found my identity in that. And so then I had to leave being like, well, who am I now?
Need a better page.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like if you were lucky, you was able to get something positive out of that. I know I did. But then letting it go, I was just like, now what am I supposed to do with my life? And yeah, I figured it out. And it took years. I'm telling you, it took years. So I can only imagine what the latest members, what their process is, because it took me, I say maybe like last year, I'm finally at a good place. And that's because I took plant medicines. And, and so I can only imagine like the other members that really went through hell with him. Like they really went through hell with him. I can only imagine. And the humiliation, like it was already, because when you look back at my season, our season, it still was kind of curated, right? It was still kind of like, but once we left and once they started them shenanigans, it was like humiliation ritual. It was, so I can only imagine how it's for them. So despite everything that I said, I still had compassion for their experience, but that still ain't gonna take away what needs to be said. Like, okay, that happened, but let's continue to move forward. And but I can only imagine like how their process is based on just what I had to process within myself.
Try to make a cooler airplane. But use it from here, not right up through it.
Mm-hmm.
Use it on here. That way you can make a better plane.
Down D says, so you are free
Use that
from
plane
beliefs.
instructions. Like to make a better plane. Why?
How can I say this? The way that I can be on that frequency is to start paying attention to what I believe in and questioning every time. And then when anybody comes to me trying to challenge my belief, don't resist it. And that's why I told y'all, and this is about learning Kabbalah, be like, I could be wrong. With everything that I said to y'all, with all of my experience, I could be wrong about everything. Even though my perspective has allowed me to live the life that I've always wanted to live, I still could be wrong about everything. I still could be wrong about Nature Boy. I could be wrong about Velvet. I could be wrong about that whole experience. Okay? That's how you can be free of your belief. It's being like, I believe this, but I could be wrong.
You liberate yourself from the attachment to it.
Yeah, no attachment to the belief. And allow myself to evolve in the way existence wants me to evolve, and yeah, that's where I'm at.
Mama.
Mm-hmm. Yes, baby.
Can we go outside?
It looks like it's about to rain, actually.
Always be having it.
But y'all know what? With Zen, let me tell you something. I've been on here going on 3 hours. I love y'all. For me to be on here talking and I know I love myself, then I love y'all.
You gonna do the hand gesture too?
No, I'm not gonna. I don't want to trigger y'all into the I don't want to trigger y'all. This is a safe space. But this morning, this is why I'm on here freely. It's because this morning I made my morning be all about Zen. We got up. I spent time with him with no phone, completely focused on him. We got up, talked, and then we watched the cartoon together, and then we had breakfast. We did homeschool, and then him and I went outside and played, and then we came in, and I played with him and his toys for almost 2 hours, no phone or anything. And I did that all the way up to like 1 o'clock. So now I'm like, okay, bro, I filled your cup. Now mommy wants to do what she want to do. And yeah, so I made sure that I took some time with him, because I noticed a lot of times I start my day with myself, and then Zen gets the grunt of that. I think the brunt of that. So I was like, no, I want to start my day with Zen. Like, well, I'll get up and go to the gym, have my coffee, maybe meditate, and then Zen will wake up, and then I'll spend my morning with Zen. And so then after that, my afternoon and evening can be whatever I want. And then later on, him and I are going to go outside in the evening, and we'll probably be outside for about an hour or two. So yeah, it just helps me be able to choose myself when I want to, because I made sure to fulfill my responsibilities as a mama.
Should read through the comments.
Okay. Okay. Yes, baby.
Am I 7.5?
You did what?
Am I 7.5?
Are you 7.5?
Yes, you're 7.5. Do you want to come on camera and say hello?
So that's why I can stay outside longer?
No, you're staying outside longer because the days are longer. The Real Talk Kitchen says you were the nicest woman. I tried to be. I tried to. No, I believe everybody was exactly who they were. And if you want to know what I mean by that, ask me. But I believe everybody showed up exactly who they were, and the situation added enough pressure on somebody, more of that will come. Yeah. So I'm a woman of integrity. It don't matter if I'm there or if I'm here. And y'all see me, even when I left, I didn't switch up. I didn't change up. Because it's like, that's who I am.
Mama,
Yes.
I want to go outside.
Okay. It's about to rain.
No, it's
Y'all might.
You just finished the comments.
Okay. Y'all, I'll finish the comments, and I gotta go. Michelle said, I don't have to beliefs, because when you believe, you don't know.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
I heard that too. And I heard that from Osho. I don't know if you ever heard of Osho. I heard him say that recently. Like he said beliefs is the worst thing you can have. And the worst thing you can do is believe in God. And yeah, like I've been resonating with him lately, because these are thoughts that I had. But I also heard people say, if you don't know, and that's what I'll say with beliefs, is that I know that beliefs, I will say this, your beliefs, I know your beliefs will mislead you. I know that for a fact. I know your beliefs is what gets you vulnerable. I know that. With a shadow of a doubt. Okay. I know. So that is something that's something that I know. Oh no, I'm not getting off yet. Because you keep interrupting me. I have to respond to the comments, and then I'll get off.
The
Okay.
chat. He has to respond to the chat.
Yeah. Monique said, me too. Sagittarius fire signs are very blunt and say what we feel and stand on what we believe in. Sure enough, will. Flute said, oh, I know. Hey, Flute. Michelle said, yes, you are still the same strong-headed. Stop it. Yeah. Okay. but I thought you were challenging it in the wrong community. Okay. Challenging what? In carbonation? Yeah. I don't want you to do that because it's distract. You're going to make me take longer by doing that. If you want to come in the camera, I'll stop talking and you can come and show them your airplane. Okay. Mm-hmm. Michelle said she was mad at you for buying the ticket.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know what hell transpired in between.
No
that.
hell transpired.
No, it wasn't hell, but it was challenging in terms of like, yeah, it was just getting really weird. Like she was just like really trying to hold on to those beliefs, and
Yeah.
so
I would being alive. They would have me on the phone when they had meetings. Like they were bringing me back in.
Yeah, and so I was just like, you know what, like you should just probably go. Like it just got to that point, so that's the reason I did it. It wasn't because, it was like everything was perfect, and I was like, all right, I'll buy it. Like she was like,
Yeah.
she was in a different world, right? Like so it was like we were together, but she was not there anyways, so it didn't matter. Yeah.
And I wanted to show Ketzel that because Nature Boy wanted me to leave without the baby. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. And then I told him to give me a month because I want to show Ketzel that I will be able to be a fit mother and he can trust me with the baby or whatever. So that's why I didn't up and leave because I'm like, I'm not about to run away from my life. So where am I running to? It's like, no, I was like, if I'm going to go back, it's because I really believe this is my family, but I also have a child with him. And I'm like, I have to show him like, look, I can handle this. So that's why I didn't up and leave. But then after that month, he was just like, okay. And so by that time, stuff started happening. And I think Malia had got there by that time. And you know that story, Malia and Velvet. And so that's when I started looking at things. I'm like, hold on. That's when he just said he was monogamous. And I'm like, what is happening? So I'm seeing all of this stuff. But see, this time, I had more discernment because I'm like, something's not right. Before I wasn't looking at the red flag. Stop in. Okay. You can go outside in the front. You just can't go in the back. Okay. So, yeah.
Wrap it up.
Yeah. So it was the stuff that was happening. And I'm like, this don't got nothing to do with the movement. And then that's when it became a soap opera. By that time, I was going to go, but then I missed the flight. And at the airport, I missed the next flight. And then that's when I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to go back. Yeah. I said, I don't think I'm supposed to go back. And he would have bought me a ticket. Like he was going to buy it, but I told him no. Huh?
Remember when we came back here?
Mm-hmm.
Once we went to get the first plane to go,
Mm-hmm.
the last night,
Yeah.
once we came back home,
Yes.
the thing told him that.
I don't know what you're talking about. You can come and tell them if you want to, if it's important to you. You have my permission to tell them the story. But I don't know what you're talking about.
It's where when we went in the first plane to get back 2 weeks ago.
Oh, if you want to tell them that story, you can. I don't want to, but you have my permission to.
Aww.
Okay.
Please.
All right, I gotta go make food.
Okay, thank you, so that you can take him with you. I'm going to get off.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. I'm reading it, but I'm getting distracted. Really? Wow. I wouldn't think that it took you so long. Okay, go with daddy.
No.
Go ahead.
No.
Yeah, take the chair. Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna get off because I gotta go to the bathroom again. Okay. All right. So let's see. Okay, Monique said, I was so happy you didn't go back because I think Kessel was going to go back with you, and I didn't want to see our family split apart. Yeah, he probably would have at some point, and I think that's what Nature Boy was hoping. Like, if she comes back, I know he's going to come back. Yeah, Zen, they went downstairs. Yeah. Monique said, I feel like you got the real prize with Quetzal because when y'all left and went to Hawaii, you could see he was fully tapped into the fruits and herbs y'all were really teaching. Yeah, I do believe that too. I think that, you know what? I already know. Like, here we go with the knowing. I, when I choose like who I'm going to be with, it's like I make good choices. And I knew out of all the dudes, Quetzal was someone that was more on my level. Um, and as you see, we left and we definitely had a lot to learn, but he's very solid as an individual. I'm very solid as an individual. And him and I have just been able to grow over time. It has not been easy. And every year we always ask each other, are we done? Are we done? You know, because our relationship was a soul contract. Our relationship did come for us to grow. And sometimes with those type of relationships, they don't last forever. But they will last as long as him and I are in alignment and we continue to choose each other. And yeah, and it just keeps getting better and better. And right now we are in a trial and tribulation right now, but him and I have seen worse. We've been homeless together. And so now we're starting this new cycle, and it's refining us and also asking us, who do we want to be and what do we want to have as a couple, as a family, and as individuals. And yeah, so I'm just now taking a different approach on my life now, taking a different approach on healing and growth. And it doesn't have to be pain. It doesn't have to be darkness. I found my light in the darkness. I don't have to do all of that all the time. I don't have to do all of that. And yeah, so we'll see what's yet to come. Oh, okay. Okay, Michelle. Michelle said, I cried because I was so mad with the whole situation. Yeah, that situation definitely had you feeling all which ways. Yeah, a lot of people are attached to that story. Yeah. Michael said, I believe in the truth. What is the truth for you, Michael? What is the truth that you believe in? What is that? What's the truth that you believe in? Share with the class. Okay, he is sharing with the class. Yeah, the flight, missing the flight twice, y'all, was the universe. It was. Because I think after that, they got kicked out of Panama. They was in either Panama or Nicaragua. And after I didn't come, they got kicked out. And I think Musa got in a car wreck. And then, no, Musa got in a car wreck before that. And then after that, they got kicked out. Monique said, agreed. He showed the true definition of a man leading his family the right way. Started working. He did what was supposed to be done. I always said that if they start a tribe, I'm going with them and Jazz. Yeah. The truth equals the words of the power of our ancestors, which are confirmed by the 7 things that Black ancestors and elders told their descendants for this time in the last days. Okay. Thank you, Linda. I kept saying with serenity, no, don't go back. Can't she see what she has in front of her? Nope, I sure didn't. Nubian Black. What's Quetzal zodiac? He's a Leo. He's a Leo. Okay, him and I are compatible, but we don't. It doesn't feel like we are. But I think because our energy is so much alike, we butt heads because we're just dealing with ourselves. He is a Taurus rising, Leo sun, Virgo moon. I am a Virgo rising, Sagittarius, Leo moon. So him and I very much alike, but we always felt like we weren't. But now looking back, I was like, we can't stand each other because we act too much alike sometimes. We both look healthy and happy, and I'm so happy for you both. Thank you. Thank you very much. Kessel said you would have gone straight to jail with them. Yep, and they would have been mad at you, Kessel, because you let me. They would have been mad at you for letting me go to jail with your baby. All right, y'all. So, what's the one thing you learned today in this conversation? What's one thing y'all learned today in this conversation? And if you don't say it, I'm going to say it again. Oh, you August 19th? He's August 21st. Ketzel's August 21st. What's the one thing, before we go, what is the one thing that you learned today and you're going to take with you? And I can hear my voice, Ketzel. Yeah, I think it's going to rain again. Yes, down the, yes. I learned, that I could be wrong. Okay, yes, that's what. But what is the one thing? Yes, Monique. Monique got the prize for today. Everything starts with what your belief is. Everything. Okay? Yep, Leo and Sat go together. Mm-hmm. Y'all are so funny. Okay. You could know, but you could be wrong. Yeah. Choice. I'm free. Mm-hmm. Very good. Yes, choice. Mm-hmm. But the main thing is what Monique said. Everything starts with what your belief is. Okay? That's where everything starts. So, if you find yourself in a cult, or if you find yourself in a relationship that is not idea, if you find yourself in a situation that's not idea, you want to go to what belief that you had that allowed you to be in this situation in the first place. Okay? That's what I want everyone to take with them. And when you get off this call, sit back and look at your life right now, or what you have going on, the relationship, the job, the environment, place. Ask yourself, what belief do I have that allows me to have this life? What belief do I have that allows me to continue to be who I am and live how I'm living? Because your belief shapes your reality and your choices. So you want to be aware of your beliefs, because everything starts from belief. And that's how people were able, like myself, were able to get into carbonation and follow Nature Boy because of our beliefs. And because of what we believed in, it made us vulnerable to be manipulated and controlled, and then eventually do the things that a lot of those people did, including myself. It's because of what we believed. So because we believed in something, and if someone knows what you believe, they have the potential to influence you, to manipulate you, okay, to inspire you. Why do you think in sales, they said when you're learning about selling, or when you're learning about you creating a business, what is the one thing they tell you to know about your audience? What are their pain points? Or what are their dreams? What is their desires? Because once you know a person's pain, once you know their desires, once you know their beliefs, you have the ability to control them. Yeah, even little old you. You are susceptible. Anybody doing something to you based on what you believe. So even that person that was in here, Michael, talking about the truth, once the right person get a hold of what his truth is, now he's vulnerable to manipulation and control based on that belief that he has about the ancestors and about whatever he said. Like, because now I know what you believe. I just have to know how much you're willing to do based on that belief. See, that's what they do. That's what these companies do every day. I need to know what you believe in. I need to know how much you believe in it and what you're willing to do, and how I can influence you, what colors I need, what positioning, what actors. Think about the last election we were in, and I think about Kamala. Kamala's a good one. And you remember in her campaign, look at all the people that she was promoting. Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. But you know why she did that? Because she knew, based on how Black people think and a certain demographic of Black people, that they will be influenced by Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B to vote for her. It's happening every day. Every day is happening. And even in spirituality, it's happening every day. When you can let go of your belief in God, you will no longer be controlled by it. Think about when I said the word God. What was the first thing that popped up in your head when I said God? And what was the thing that popped up in your head when I said, if you can let go of your belief of God? What was the thing that popped up in your head? That's what controls you. And see, this is something that I am teetering with. What if I let go of my belief in God? What if I let go of my ideal of God? What if I choose no longer to believe in God? What does that mean? Because a lot of times people can influence you with God. People can mislead you because of God. People can control you with God. So what if I just no longer believed in God? What would that look like? What meaning am I making it by believing in God? What was I told about believing in God? And if I didn't believe in God? Because you ever notice people be like, oh, I'm not a Christian, but I believe in God. Oh, I'm spiritual, but I believe in God. What does that mean? Why do we have to say that? What do you think that disclaimer needs? Like, people do it all the time. Oh, I believe in God. I mean, I believe Jesus or these are, but I believe in God. Oh, why do you need to defend that? Yeah. So this is where my mind is going. My mind is like, letting go of these attachments. What are the attachments? Because a lot of times it's not these physical things. It could just literally be your beliefs. That's it. Your thoughts, your thought patterns are attachments. Yeah. I'm getting cold. I'm getting cold, y'all. Okay. Zen zodiac is Gemini rising, Scorpio, Aquarius moon. Yes, keep pondering with your beliefs, Linda. Keep pondering with them. Just ponder with them. I'm not doing anything with it. It's like, think about it. Like, why do I believe that? Mm-hmm. Michelle, I'm 61, have 2 grown children, 40 and 28, and I've been reasoning with my kids from when they were small. What do you mean reasoning with them? I used to have to hide from my daughter and son when I It was your guilty pleasure, huh? Carbonation was your guilty pleasure. Mm-hmm. I used to do that with Ketzel. Like when Ketzel wasn't like in the house, I would watch Nature Boy stuff while he wasn't around. And when he came around, I wouldn't watch it. I used to do the same thing. Yeah. It means I'm free because I don't believe. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And your beliefs, you can believe in something, but don't let your beliefs define you. And that's a reprogramming. I believe in this, but it doesn't define me. Like I believe in this, but it doesn't define me. Like I believe living in the tropics is the best place to be. But if I have to live in the United States of America again, I will. I'm gonna be all right. Because it's not for me, it's not the environment, it's my frequency, it's my mindset. Mm-hmm. It's how I choose to show up to life every day, being present, no matter what. But if I can live in the tropics, I will. You know what I mean? But it's like, but if something happened, I don't know. Oh, I'm back in Babylon. Oh, I'm back in the States. Oh, I don't want to be here because of Trump. That's low frequency. Like you are where you are. Be present to that. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're in the tropics, but if you still hold on to the past and fear of the future, the tropics ain't gonna help you. So wherever you are, be present to that, continually working on that. Showing up to life where you're at right now. Mm-hmm. But I hear that all the time. People are like, I don't want to be in the States. I'm like, well, you are. Until something changes, be happy. Be happy where you are. And things will turn around if you truly want what it is that you want. I swore I was a part of carbonation. Changed my name to Immortal Infinity. Was sending gifts on Bigo and everything, but I said I can't ever leave my son. That's what kept me from going. Yeah, so you just decided to be a passive member. And a lot of people did that. And that's awesome that you admitted that, Monique, because there's a lot of people that did that. A lot of people did exactly what you did, and yet sit here judging everybody else. No, you know what I mean? Like he couldn't be who he was without the active members and with the passive members. That's why I said we all play a part. Yeah, he might have went to jail for life, but we all play a part in creating that monster. We fed the monster. We were the keepers of the monster. We gonna be like, throw the rock, hide our hand. Like, no, we was all there, all of us. Like, come on. Like, that's not pretend. Like, we all played a part in that. That's all I'm saying. We all played a part. And so did you, Monique. Thank you for being honest. That you was a contributor, a silent contributor. Mm-hmm. The more I watched, the more I started saying, what the fuck is going on? Why does he keep changing everything? I was only watching to see who he was going to wake up. When I was only watching to see who was going to wake up and leave. Yeah, it's like one of them reality shows. Like who's going to get the rose, who ain't going to get the rose, like who's going to leave. It became a reality show. It really was like, oh, who's going to leave today? Like, you know, it was very entertaining. Oh, okay. All right, y'all. It's been 3 hours. I'll come back on later. Not today, but I'm gonna get off of here. This is an ever continuing conversation, and I'm just showing up. I want to show up because I know there's people that want to have the conversation, and there aren't every space isn't made for every conversation, if y'all know what I mean. Like this is a space that is really a neutral space. It's like I'm neutral. Like I'm not like, he's horrible, awful, off with his head. And I also not like, no, he's innocent. He shouldn't be there. He free the three. I'm not that either. I'm neutral. Like I'm a neutral space with this. So this space, so that's why I want to talk about and show up so we can have a conversation with anybody that wants to share, how they feel and like share similar perspective. You might, even if you disagree with me, I'm okay with that. Like it's your perspective, like it's mine. And I don't even care people come over here disrespectful because you're just showing your ass, not mine. Okay. So even when people might say something negative, I'm okay with that. I get it. I know I ruffle feathers sometimes. Like I get it. Like, but I don't take it personal. So yeah, this is a safe space for everyone. Okay, let's see. Then I'm gonna get off of here, y'all. Do you think a content creator reporting on the situation we played? Huh? Do you think as a content creator reporting on the situation we played a part? If so, what part? Well, I think where you played a part in it, Medaya, is continuing to share the message. Like you're still sharing the story. You're still shining light on it. So when it comes to consciousness, it's not about right or wrong. That morality is man stuff. Consciousness is what you give energy to grows. So it doesn't look at right or wrong. It just looks at, oh, this is where the energy is. Let me give more. Let me put more into that. So that's why I said, if you really want to, and I don't think, but based on how you handle your page, I don't look at you as someone as a troll. Like there are trolls out there, like for real, that's just trolls that are against him. That's what a troll is. So, but people being like, I just want to bring awareness. Why do you want to bring, if you disagree with it, if you think it's harmful, why are you bringing awareness to that? Like, the way you kill something is suffocating it, hiding it, closing it. So it's just like with cancer awareness, why are we bringing awareness to cancer? We know cancer is out there, but that's not how you cure cancer, by bringing awareness to it. It's by suffocating it, by not giving any energy. And he taught us this currency, what do you call it? Divine currency or cosmic currency 101 is attention. He gave us the cheat codes of how to beat him. He wants your attention. As long as he got your attention, that's all he needs. That's his food. And this is the same thing with social media today. It's the same concept. They're doing whatever they can do. They make their money off of getting our attention, off harnessing our attention daily. That's why they were giving us money so more creators could get on and making more content. If you can make better content, then the algorithm will be in favor of you because you're bringing attention and awareness to these platforms. It's all attention. And he taught us this. He taught us that. So that's why when I see people doing what they're doing, I don't say, y'all not hurting him. Y'all helping him. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like, do the world really need to know about him? do the world really need to know about him? And think about all these cults. Well, all these cult documentaries. Has it changed anything? No. There are cults being formed every day, right now, as we speak. There are people joining the cult. So I just think that you can't stop something that is meant to be done. But if you really want to be that person that want to change, don't give it energy. Don't bring it in your field, because you as a soul, you have a collect souls that are going to be in your field. Well, whatever you put in that field, now you're bringing it to their awareness. See, Medaya, you might know about Nature Boy, but everybody that was in your field may not have known. But now that you put it in your field, now they know. And you don't get to decide how they're going to respond to the information, but you are responsible for the information that you put in your field. You put it there. Now there's risk, because people could see information and it could change their life for the better, but then other people could see it and they could be influenced by it based on what their beliefs. So it's just a gamble. It really is a gamble. You don't That's why people do this, because they're just like, well, I'll take my chances. All right. Okay. Because he started getting famous when they started reporting him. He started getting famous when the white girl's family reported him to the Canadian news. And then that's when he became famous. Because of what? A bad publicity. He would have just been another nigga on the internet with a whole bunch of black people doing stuff, and they would have not cared. But because there was a white girl there and the parents were scared because she was around an aggressive black man with no clothes on and talking the way she was talking and not on her medication, her family was concerned, and they was just like, oh no, not my pale white daughter. And that's when they got the authority, and then that's when he became who he became because of that situation. If that never happened, I don't really think it would have. Maybe it would have popped off at some point, but that's when it got on the map. That's when it was like, who is this man? When it stepped out of the Hotep conscious community, the Sinetta, it was that. It was in that the young pharaohs, the Sinetta and the Hotep. It was in that spill, in that realm. But then when that white girl came and when the situation happened, then it spread out to the world, and then they was just like, oh, who is this? And that's how it happened. So you can't, consciousness don't care. It's just get what you're giving energy to. Y'all know this, spirituality 101. Vibrations, frequencies, come on, energy. Y'all know this. Y'all know it. Okay. You too, Michelle. You're welcome. Yep. Y'all welcome. Somebody asked me that. Monique asked me about Efru, Zoka, Malia, will they ever leave? I don't know. I think it. I don't know why they haven't left, but I do think that everybody that comes into that situation, you're connected to people. And with me and Ketzel, look at me and Ketzel, we came in that situation, and look at how him and I are still together. Y'all not questioning. Well, some of y'all aren't questioning why him and I are together. Him and I have a baby. We're married. We're living life together. But I think because we're not still in the cult or honoring Nature Boy in that way, y'all not looking at it like that. So I wonder if Efru, Malia, and Soka's story in that is that they came into that to find each other. Because I think that it's a beautiful thing that if they still do believe that he is who they say he is, I think it's a beautiful thing that they found two other people to go along with it. Because I think it would be very lonely to believe in something like that, and the whole world is like, girl, you is crazy. What's wrong with you? But at least you know you got at least two other people that believe and is willing to do life with you, and so that's how I look at it with them. But I don't know why they still I don't know why that these are the women that, or these are the people that ended up. But I do think there's still people out there that still believe in him and support him. And there are people out there that still believe in him in that way. But as far as active members, these are the wives that stood out. They got beat up because we see it on camera, but yet they still believe. And that's their choice. Now remember, belief was one hell of a drug, isn't it? So that's what they believe. And but at least they got each other. At least they have each other to believe in that. And to live life and to go through this life. And that's how I see it. Like, I know a lot of people see it a different way, but I'm like, these are grown ass women. If that's what they want to do with their life, they're beautiful women. And if they want to waste their time and their beauty and their youth on a man that probably is not getting out of jail, that's on them. Okay? That's on them. That's what they want to do. So who am I or you to tell them that they should be doing it? They're grown. And there are plenty of women today that are married and in relationships with inmates that are not going to get out. They do it every day, writing them letters, being in relationships with them, getting married to them. This isn't a carbonation thing. Women are doing this all the time. And so maybe they choose to be those women. Thanks for the live. Really learned a lot from you both. You're welcome. Thanks for being here and engaging. It helps when you come on here and you engage and ask questions and we talk, Yeah, you never know. You never know. Wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't that be funny if that trial got overturned? Oh my God. The way Nature Boy's life works, I would not be surprised. The way his life works, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if something happened, if that trial got overturned and they realized that it wasn't that serious to give him this amount of time. Yes, he needed to have some time in jail because he did break some laws, but not to where he gets life. So I can definitely see somebody one day, if they ever get the money and anybody that want to entertain this trial, I can definitely see it. I definitely could see that, but it would be funny to me. And you know what? People will get their life if that man get out of jail. You hear me? People will get their life because they'd be like, oh, time to make more content. Like, because you already know. You already know, And he always wanted to go to the tropics with his 3 wives and live happily ever after. He never wanted community, y'all. He wanted to have his women and go off in the sunset. So that's why I think it's very funny. It's very funny that the last 3 standing are what? 3 of his wives. So you just never know. I'm telling y'all right now, if that happens, oh my gosh, I'm gonna laugh so hard. I'm gonna laugh because I'm just like, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. If they were smart, they would have got jobs, that money together to get a paid attorney, but they were stuck on his teachings and not. Yeah. I'm so glad I got acclimated back into money. I never believed that. I never, when he was talking about we shouldn't have money, I didn't believe that. I'm like, all right, like money is a resource that we have in this universe, and you smart, you'll be a person that understands it and learn it and get a lot of it. Okay, you can't live this life without money. And if you begging people for money, it does not matter, So yeah, I'm so glad I did not get caught up in that. I went along with it because that was a part of his teachings and stuff, but it was just something with me that I didn't sit well with me. I was just like, I don't know about that. It was one of those beliefs that I'm like, I'll try it on, but at the end of the day, I think I have a different belief in that. But it wasn't one of those beliefs that will violate my integrity. Not, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing with me, is that there was no beliefs really that violated my integrity, to where it's just like, yeah, a lot of the stuff he was saying, I either agreed or I didn't know have enough information to care. So I'm just like, okay, like yeah, like most of that stuff. So when it came to the money, I get it, but I'm just like, I learned too much about money over the years to be like, I don't think it's evil. I think the people that put their hands on it is. That's how I looked at it. Mhm. In the state of Georgia, oh, grape is punishable by end slicing. I don't know what that means. Oh, that would be very difficult because he confessed. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh. Oh, you said yes, Mandaya, but I'm talking the aspects of the judge proceeding while having COVID. Oh, okay. Yeah, it would shock the world. That's all I think we're just pretty much saying. It would shock the world if that happened. Strange things happen, y'all. Strange things. They happen. Yeah, strange things happen. You just never know. Hmm. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm about to go. I gotta go to the bathroom. All right. So we'll talk soon. I'll come back on another day. I don't know, but I'll come back on. I like going live here because on the other platforms like Instagram and TikTok, they don't really like the long form content. Well, TikTok lives are weird. Like, it's really weird to be on TikTok live. But on Instagram, they don't really like the long form content over there anymore. So I like still going live because I feel like y'all get more of my energy. Yeah, girl, I didn't know what you were talking about, Madaya. I think it expresses more of my energy because I can just talk, and then y'all can ask questions and I can expound. Because there's so many things, y'all, I could talk about with that experience, but it helps me when y'all ask me questions. There's no questions that y'all can't ask me. Well, not don't ask me no more now because I'm getting off. But what I'm saying is that don't hesitate to ask me questions, okay? Because if it's something I don't want to answer, I'm not going to answer it. But there's nothing that happened with me that I would not answer. Like, okay, so but it helps me when I talk about this conversation to have dialogue because it's so much that has happened. It's really overwhelming for me just to sit here and talk. So, like, if y'all saw my interview with Nick at Night around the trial, that was really good for me because she was asking questions. Like, it was like an interview. So that really helped me be clear and be like, what do I think about that? When did that happen? Because it's just so much. Okay. So I'm going to go and I hope y'all have a good night. Bye. Love you.